Solo board gaming night here, and today it's a nice cold winter day, my final day of vacation, and I'm gonna spend this last few moments playing some board games, hanging out with my family later on. But I want to do this little live stream of Wreckland Run with you all. Let me just make sure that everything's working as far as audio goes, and we'll get started from there. I hope you all are doing great. Have a lot to talk about, a lot that I want to play. Here we go. Audio's good. I know for a fact that some of you will join later on, so welcome. And those that come live, what I'll be doing, I'll be playing, and every time I take a turn, between each turn, I'm going to go ahead and just look at the chat and see what you guys are all talking about. This was really exciting. I'm so excited today because I ended up just getting my copy of Marvel Zombies, the Kickstarter edition. And it just showed up at my doorstep. Didn't expect it today, to be honest, but now that it's here, I'm really hyped to play it. This was a great vacation, a great way to end the vacation because it's been filled with a lot of parties with the family, a lot of hanging out with my family, and a lot of board games. And I can't wait to share this game, Wreckland Run, with me. Now, I do want to mention one thing about Wreckland Run. And I want to kind of, instead of front load a whole bunch of information, I will let you know that this rule book for Wreckland Run, although at points it's done well enough so that you know how to play, there's so many discrepancies, so many things that are left out of it that at first, and I'm not, at first, I'm going to say that this was a very negative experience. My first impressions of this game was negative, not so much because of the game itself. There's nothing wrong with the game. It's just the way the rule book presented information and even left out very important information that should have been there, but for some reason was not. And I spent a lot of time during my first game, first two games, I would say, going to BGG and looking for answers to all the discrepancies. And I don't think any board game should have to. You're already paying a lot of money for a board game. This isn't a video game. It shouldn't get patched post launch. It should be ready to go considering it's a physical product. So right off the bat, I'm going to say the rule book in this game left a lot to be desired. And I just want you to know that, spoiler alert, and here goes, the game's actually good. I enjoy it very much. But when you compare, for example, Warp's Edge to this, when I first played Warp's Edge, I read that book once, and the only time I really referenced the rule book after that was to look at what the powers would do. Other than that, it was pretty smooth sailing. If I referenced the rulebook once or twice, that's probably a lot. But I just want to let you know that Wreckland Run, if you're going to buy this game, which I actually recommend if you're a solo player and you like solo-only games like Warp's Edge, I would definitely recommend it with the huge caveat that it has a pretty bad rulebook. Okay? And with that out the way, I'm not going to front load this video with a whole bunch of rules that you have to learn right now. I'm pretty much just going to teach as I'm playing. I think that's the best way to go. It's going to move the video a lot quicker, a lot more entertaining, in my opinion. And I'm just going to let you know a few things that you do need to know. This is my, and one more thing. What I'm going to do between turns, and the turns go by pretty quick, not a full turn, but every time I make an action, I'll just look over to the chat to see what's going on. And then I'll come back to the game. That way I could still interact with you all. So have conversations with one another, talk, and I'm going to, right away, I'm going to say, Papersmith, hey, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Dragoon 8, good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Xavier Games, thank you so much. This says, lucky you getting Marvel Zombies. I am so ecstatic. When I looked out my front porch and I saw that, I almost jumped like a little kid. I was excited. I did play the Marvel Zombies Resistance and thought I would hate the standees, but it was actually really easy to set up and put away. Yes, now I'm going to mention something about what you just said. This box, I already know the insert, I'm gonna have to get rid of it because the way that the insert was placed, it's not gonna be able to fit everything the way I'm gonna need it. So right off the bat, I didn't like that insert. I know it's gonna be a pain, but I'm gonna figure it out. Always Fresh says, howdy, howdy, sir. How do you like the holiday pinball? You know what? The holiday pinball game is a very light game, but it really does recreate what pinball would be in a board game. I mean, it does it very well. The theme is spot on. I actually have a lot of fun with it. It's inexpensive. I would highly recommend it. It's not like you're gonna risk a whole bunch of money if you don't like it. It's very inexpensive and it's actually really fun. However, it's my first super skill pinball game I ever played, and I don't know how similar that game is to other games. So I don't know how much you would like it if you've played others. Uh, I have not opened it yet, but I'm excited to check it out. I think you're gonna like it. I really think you will. Was the rulebook just confusing? Papersmith asked, or were there just a lot to memorize? No, there was not a lot to memorize. As a matter of fact, this was a very straightforward game to learn. The complexity comes in all the decision making you get to make and is available to you. But when it comes to the actual game, it does explain the steps very well. The problem is there's a lot of little rules that were not included. And I'm going to give you a quick example of what I mean by that. For example, there's a ramming action that you can make, but the ramming doesn't let you know how it handles shields. It forgoes shields. So if an enemy has one shield, two health, the ram will just hit for one health. It will ignore the shield. Now in the actual rule book itself, it doesn't even mention that. Now if you have an eagle eye kind of level of detail when you're looking at the pictures, you'll notice the picture actually shows that the example has, I'm actually going to pop it out if I can, has the ramming action, and it shows that it actually overlooks or it doesn't get affected by shield, that it goes through shields. Let me see if I find it. If I don't find it, I'm just going to move forward so I don't spend too much time here. Right here, there's an example right here in the book that talks about ram, and it points out that there's a barbed wire on this side which will cause damage to these vehicles. And if you see these vehicles have shield, it bypasses the shield, but it doesn't have it written anywhere inside the rule book, which is insane to me. So it's not that the game's overly complicated, it's just, or complex, or too many rules. It's just there's literally missing information. That's all it is. Whoever wrote that rule book like missed a lot, and a lot of information that they could have put. And the thing is, it's not even a lot. It could have been something that could have been rectified with just maybe like a page of one sentence, half sentence questions and answers. That's it. But it didn't do it, and I think it's not well because of that. It didn't do good because of that. Uh, Always Fresh says, I'm all about standees these days. It does make setup somewhat quicker and putting away. The way I do it with my games, I have little art cases that I use to put the standees away, and it makes setup and tear down really quick. But it's an extra step that you have to do whenever you purchase a game. Dragoon 8 says the concept of the game looks very cool already. It is, and with that, we're gonna start the game. And I'm gonna let you know we are in a post-apocalyptic setting. Think of Mad Max. You're pretty much stealing scrap and loot from other bad people out there that are just trying to survive and probably abuse and take advantage of the weaker people that don't have the numbers and strength, right? So what you're doing, you're going and you're stealing their scrap and their goods, like maybe it's a part or whatever, and trying to make it out of your canyon. And they're going to be chasing you, and cars are going to be trying to stop you from getting to your safe getaway, right? And at the end of every round, which there are 3, on the 3rd round, a boss will come out to cause havoc. With that out of the way, that's the premise. This is basically Mad Max the game without the license. Let's take a look at our vehicle, and it's called the Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner is going to have 8 different spaces all over it, all around it. And each one of those spaces is going to give you an opportunity to place a part in it. In this case, the Roadrunner already placed has 3 parts in it that I can upgrade with my character using these cards. I'm going to be playing chapter 3 because I saw online there's already a lot of people that have done chapter 1 and chapter 2, and I figured, you know what, let me do chapter 3 because that's when the game really starts showing its colors. This chapter added 2 parts that I could purchase only in this chapter. I chose these 2. I already shuffled everything. Everything's ready to go, so we don't waste too much time. Other than the vehicles here, I'm gonna spend in this phase. My dice are gonna be used to be able to match numbers and hopefully fill up these spaces with parts. The parts do 2 things. Depending on which side the part is on in the vehicle, that's going to determine the side of the vehicle that can attack enemies. Okay, so if you have cars in front of you, you could only use the weapons in front. If you have cars in back of you, you can only use the weapons in back, to the right, and to the left, so on and so forth. The only thing that you do need to know are the corners right here. The corner parts that you have will be able to attack vehicles either to the side of it, of where it's at, or behind or in front of it. In this case of Lifeline, I'd be able to attack any vehicles to the left or behind it, okay? And the same thing's gonna go with each other corner over here, okay? That's all you're gonna need to know for now. And in the middle is always gonna have an ability that I could do, Ram, which I just talked about, that the actual rule book did a terrible job explaining. And these are infinite. You could put as many dice as you want in here. Basically, this is a dice placement. You roll some dice, you place some dice, and activate whatever part's there. But there's a lot of choice and mitigation, and that's what makes this game cool. And you could use a 1 or 2 to either re-roll the dice of the same color, increase or decrease the value of 1 dice, or lock a dice, either an enemy or your dice, away so that it doesn't get re-rolled. And the reason that you could hold back an enemy dice, I'll explain it later as we get it. But there's a lot of strategy and a lot of things that you could do here available to you, a lot of moves available to you to make this game really enjoyable. But before we move forward, I'm just gonna start going, oh, that's how you place the weapons. Okay, so if I have a 3, I place a 3 on here. Now I can activate this by 3, and this is a perfect activation, means an exact match, meaning that I'm going to be able to activate not only the top part right here if I do an exact match, which is shoot 1 vehicle for 1 and another vehicle for 1 damage, but also if you use an exact match, I could add +1 to each, so it'd be 2 damage to 1 vehicle, 2 damage to the other vehicle, 1 + 1, 1 + 1. That's how it works. Now, I could put a 4, 5, or 6 here, and I'll be able to activate the top, but I will not be able to activate the exact die placement, okay? So I could do 4, 5, 6 and just activate this, or do an exact match and activate both this and this in any order I wish, destroying any vehicles or damaging any vehicles that I wish. With that out of the way, let's go straight into what the game likes to call the wreckage phase. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be in chapter 3, and this is one chart that I'm going to be pulling out in front of you guys so you all can see what happens, because it does different things depending on which part of the round you're playing. In the wreckage phase, it's going to let you know that you could use this chart, and I'm going to show you how that works. And during the run phase, when we're actually going for our run, we use this part of the chart. I'm going to quickly explain that, and we're going to move forward. For the wreckage phase, we're going to roll dice, and every time we place red dice, these are risky dice. Now, you could use them to upgrade your parts or place parts, but you're going to have to re-roll any red dice that you use. And look at this chart. So if I roll a 1, I would have to deal 1 damage to my core, which is terrible, because although I could heal, I could repair other parts of my vehicle, I can never repair my core. And in this case, I have 9 health on my core. If my core ever receives more than 9 damage, I'm done. Okay? The other thing here is 2, 3, 4, 5 has no effect. So if I roll a 2, 3, 4, or 5, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm going to be in the clear. And finally a 6, which is really nasty. If I roll a 6 during the wreckage phase, it's going to deal 3 damage to a part of my choice. The good thing is that it'll be a part of my choice. The bad thing is I don't want to have too much damage on my parts, because think of the parts that I place on my vehicle as my shield. When that part is not there, the enemies are going to be able to shoot straight through my core. As long as I have a part on every side of this vehicle, the enemies are going to have to shoot and destroy the parts, and they will not be able to damage the core. But once my parts are destroyed, it's all for nothing. They could just start destroying my core. So that's why that's important. I'm going to bring this out every time. During during the run phase, I'll go through this, but I went through this because we're going to do the wreckage phase right now. We're going to upgrade and add parts to the vehicle. We're going to modify this car to hopefully make this vehicle strong enough to go get the loot, come back safely, and take as much scrap as I can. The game tells you that during the first round, and this is marked by this token right here, we're going to draw 5 parts. Okay, so I'm going to place this here and draw 5 parts. Here's my part deck. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to go one by one with the cards to let you know what they are and what they do. Let me slightly move it more so you could see it. Okay? Here we go. Hopefully that's good. If you guys need me to put it closer, just all let me know. The first part I have is called high or low blow. Okay? If I have 15 total a value of 15 total dice, I roll my dice and I grab a total value of 15, I can unlock this card and place it on any open spot of my vehicle. And that's how I'm going to start to suit my vehicle so that I can become stronger. The only other thing you're going to have to know about placing parts on your vehicle are these red lines here. On specific sides of the cards, you'll see red barbed wire lines like here. Sometimes they'll be on the side, sometimes they'll be on the front and back, sometimes they'll be on all sides. In this case, it's just on the top and on the back. What that means is it's probably best for you to place this card either in the rear of the vehicle or in the front of the vehicle so that you could use the benefits when it comes to ramming. Because for every red barbed wire that you have here, you're going to be able to cause 1 damage that you could distribute however you like. In this case, if I get 15 or more dice, I could place this, and if I place a 5 or higher, I'll get to shoot either one vehicle for 1 or 1 vehicle for 3. And that's important for a reason that I'm going to explain right now. By the way, this is my vehicle deck right here. In the beginning of the game, you draw 2 because I'm playing on normal mode, and this is scrap. Now, this scrap, if you look, has die value. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 1. It has 2 dice or sometimes just a die. What this does is I could use this to either unlock a part to add here or to place on my parts here to activate them. That's what the scrap is for. But this is also how the vehicles are going to activate, and that'll go through the run. But the scrap, in this case, I have a 1 and a 6. I'm going to be able to use this scrap to hopefully unlock parts. Like this case, it's an explosive pole. I would have to have 2 dice of the same value. So I would have to have 2 6s or 2 5s or 2 4s or 2 whatever to be able to unlock that, and I would place it on the board. With that said, let's go ahead. I'm going to just start rolling the dice, and see what we got. All right. As far as the danger dice go, I like to call it danger dice because they're risky. I have a 2, 3, and a 6. As far as regular dice go, I have 1, 2, 4, and 6. I'm going to use those dice right there to go ahead and upgrade my cards that I see here. And I'm going to actually show you what I mean about rolling a danger die or the risky die. I'm going to use my 2s, which is 1 red die and 2 regular die, to unlock the recycler. The recycler, I need to have 3 dice with the matching values to be able to unlock it. In this case, I have 3 2s. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my board, but I'm going to let you know what it is. This one, if I activate it with a 3 or higher, I can do the top move, which is 2 damage. Or if I do an exact match, which is either a 3 or a 4, I get to draw an enemy card from the deck and add it to your scrap pile. What that will do, I'll just draw an enemy from here and I get to add it like if I had destroyed the vehicle. Because when you destroy a vehicle for its exact health, if I put 4 damage on this vehicle, it will become scrap and I could use it for a later turn. However, if I destroy it for 5, it's completely destroyed and I just discard it. So in this case, I get to draw a scrap every time I use this, which I think it's useful. So I'm going to go ahead and place that here because it's in the rear. Okay, and let's see what else we have. Oh, I used a red die. Okay, so I'm going to have to refer to the chart over here. Remember, I used a red die during wreckage. I'm going to roll it, and depending what I get here, it's going to determine what outcome's going to occur. In this case, I rolled the 1, and it says right here, deal 1 damage to the core. The reason that is bad is because, remember, I cannot heal that core, so I'm already starting at a disadvantage here. I'm going to put these dice that I use are exhausted. I'm going to put them off to the side, and I can only use the dice that I have here. Now, in this case, what I want to do is I could discard any parts that I have in front of me to roll as many dice as I want. And right off the bat, I know that I need shield because this vehicle's got a lot of open spots, and I already took 1 damage to my core. So I want to use something with shield. In this case, this has 7 shield. This is going to shield me a lot when it comes to damage. So I will need to find 2 distinct matches, either 1 pair of 1 number and another pair of another number. So I want to do that. I already have 2 6s here, but I'm going to go ahead and discard this card because I would need to roll at least 15 to be able to unlock this. And I don't want to do this right now because I just don't. And I want to re-roll all of this. So I'm going to re-roll that. And I have a 1, 2, and 3. It's not what I wanted with that. I'm going to go ahead and risk it. And I'm going to roll it again. This time I'm going to roll it using this because just in case, I'm actually going to be able to put 1 more part if this fails. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this, re-roll these 3 dice again, and hopefully I get what I'm looking for. And unfortunately, I didn't. So we're actually going to start this game at a huge disadvantage, but that's okay. I'm just here to show you how to play, and we're going to just have a good time. All right, somebody's spamming the chat with garbage. Let's see. Hey, Crystalline. I'm going to go to the chat once I'm done putting this last piece on. So I'm going to be able to place this card on the vehicle because I have a match of 2 right here. 2 6s, and this requires 2 matching numbers. And this says explosive pole. This does 2 damage whenever more than a 4 is placed, and it says discard to deal 2 to 8 damage to a single target instead. So when I activate this, if I do an exact match, I can go ahead, discard the card, take the part out of it, and deal 2 to 8 damage to any vehicle in front of me, which is actually, it's good in one way and it's bad in another way because I will lose that part. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to place it on this corner over here. The reason I like placing them on the corners is because I could use those corners to shoot both of these sides right here. So that's why I did that. I used 2 6s to do this, so I'm going to have to re-roll that 1 6 and see what we get. Again, a 1. And if you remember, that 1 deals 1 damage to my core. So once again, this game, I'm going to tell you, it's probably going to be short. I'm not going to win, but I gave it a good try. There's nothing else I could do with these dice, because I'm not going to be able to get these matching two pairs here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually finish with my wreckage phase. So we're going to go straight into what's called the run. And in the run, we're going to populate our board here with enemies. I'm going to put one enemy in front of my vehicle, three to the right, one to the in the back of it, and two to the left. So let's go ahead using our enemy vehicles, and we're going to put one in front, and this one has 2 health with 2 shield. So I'm going to have to hit it for 4 to destroy it or more. Okay? It's got an attack of 2, so it's going to hit me for 2 on in the front. So I'm going to receive 2 damage here or here, and if I don't have those, or those are destroyed, it's going to hit my core for 2. And I activate it by, if I roll a boss die and I match a 3, this vehicle activates, and I show you how that happens when we get there. But right now, that one goes in the front. We're gonna put 3 on the right, and this one's called the melt face, and this one is really nasty because this one's gonna do 2 points of separate damage. It's gonna hit one part for 3 and another part for 2. So I really want to get rid of this card right away, and it activates with the 4. This one has a health of 6. And this bomb down here, what that means is if I do not destroy this vehicle with exactly 6 hits of damage, if I hit it 7 times, take 7 damage on it, it's going to blow up and deal 2 damage to every single part in my vehicle. In this case, it's going to be set here. So if I destroy that for more than 6, it's going to deal 2 damage to each one of my vehicle sides right here, which would be terrible right now. I don't want that to happen. So that's one. Oh, and also when I deal damage to the core, it deals 1 extra damage to the core. That is a nasty card that's probably going to destroy us. This one's called the Squealer, and this one, when it activates, is going to add a new vehicle to the rear section, which is not what I want to happen. It has a health of 5 and 1 shield, and that one will deal 3 damage if activated. This is not looking good, especially on this side. That's going to destroy my vehicle right away. This may be a short game. The last on the right side will be called Fury of Flames. That one deals 2 damage to any part on that side, activates with 4, and has a health of 6. Not as bad as the other ones, but still dangerous. We're going to have to add 1 in the bottom here. In the back of the vehicle, we have the Nightmare Fuel. The Nightmare Fuel is going to set 2 different points of damage. It's going to hit one part for 1, another part for 2 when activated by 1, and it has a health of 5 with 1 shield. That one is pretty nasty as well because it has 2 shots. And finally, we're going to put 2 vehicles, enemy vehicles on the left side. We have Fire Forever. It has 4 damage on one side, which is absolutely devastating. It activates with 2 and it has a health of 5. And finally, we're going to deal with 2 for Pain. And that is definitely painful because it's going to deal 2 points of damage to 2 separate parts. It activates with 2, and it can activate up to 2 times because there's 2 slots, and it has a health of 6. If I don't defeat it exactly by 6 health, it's going to blow up and cause 2 points of damage to every part on that side. As you could tell, I feel personally this is not going well. Now, if any part gets destroyed here during this phase, I'm going to have to place this destruction card and cover that slot. That would mean that I will no longer be able to use that part to destroy any vehicles or attack any vehicles for the rest of that run until it comes to my wreckage phase on the next round. And if I have 2 matching numbers, I'd be able to heal it, to remove it, repair it, and it's good to go. I could use it again. So I'm going to try to avoid that from happening. Another thing you have to know, which is what's going to happen right now, and you know what better way to show than just to play it and show you. I'm going to grab all of my dice, I'm going to roll it, and right now we're doing what's called the run phase. I rolled all my dice, and for the enemies, they rolled a 2 and 2 3s. For me, I rolled terribly because I rolled a 2, a whole bunch of 6s, and a 4. Now, when the enemies activate, I'm going to have to choose one of their die. Every turn consists of 3 different steps. Every turn, I'm going to have to place one enemy die. And once all the enemy dice are placed, we go to the next turn. Okay? However, if there are 2 or less vehicles, the round is over. The vehicles leave, and we just move on to the next round. The phase is over. We move on to the next round. We'll see it as you get. It's not complicated. I promise you. I'm going to just show you. Now, I have a 2, which activates this vehicle. As if you remember, this vehicle deals 4 damage. So the moment I place 2 on here, this vehicle is pretty much going to almost destroy this part and completely destroy this part. So that's dangerous. However, since it's a 2 and this vehicle also has a 2, what's going to happen is all the vehicles that have the same die that you place are all going to activate. So this one's going to activate again and pretty much going to destroy my whole entire part there. So all of the vehicles with 2 are going to activate. Once they activate, they all move clockwise to the next adjacent spot. So they're going to be moving around the vehicle, causing even more havoc. Because if this guy that has 4 damage starts moving around, he's just going to destroy and demolish my car before I have a chance to do anything. So let me see if I could place a different number on here. In this case, I have a 3. Okay? If I place that 2 here, the game's going to be over pretty much. But if I place a 3 on this vehicle, it's going to activate, hit me for 2, and move around. Now, there's no other 3s here on the board. Therefore, this will be the only vehicle that activates. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to place the 3 here. This trucker is going to go ahead and hit me for 2 points of damage. In this case, I'm going to let them hit my twin blaster. And the reason I said I'm going to do the twin blaster here is because I know this nasty guy is going to hit my corner one really hard. He activated, he hit my part, and he rotated 1 point to the right over here. One place clockwise, I'm sorry. That's the end of the enemy phase there. I'm going to have to do 2 more, but now it's my turn, and I could place up to 3 white dice. So I could take up to 3 actions, activating my cards, also using my scrap to be able to attack these vehicles. Now, one thing of note, since I already activated this trucker and I placed a die in its spot, since there's no more open spots, that vehicle is not going to activate anymore, even if I roll a 3. That vehicle is done. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and before I get started, I'm going to move over to the chat and say hi to see what's going on. Let's see. I'm not going to read everything. I'm going to read from the bottom up because there's a lot. Braden Lawrence, welcome. Let's see what he says. I only had bullets for like 16 hours. I only had bullet for like 15 hours, so I'm having a great time as of now. It seems like I'll be having fun for a long time. I can't say for certain. Bullet is a lot of fun, especially when you're playing. There's so many modes, and you can even play multiplayer with other people. It's really fun. Yeah, I got the warp egg tokens because the fact that coin cases wouldn't fit. I love those tokens. Vesmage says, I made a mistake when I tried to own all of Marvel Legendary. I did as well. I did as well. I know that pain because it just never ended. It's like what Marvel Champions is right now. Dragoon 8 says, I bought all of Marvel Champions I could. Yeah, I know that. Plus, they came out with some really cool stuff last year. Braden, and you can actually find the Warp's Edge tokens. Yes, you can. The Mage haven't done some Marvel Champions yet. Yeah, you got to get to that. What game would you guys say you've spent the most time overall? Papersmith asks. And NRGY, welcome. Definitely, I spent the most on Shadow of Brimstone. Now, that's the game I want to play. Back to the game. I'm going to go ahead and start placing the 3 activations that I have. It has up to 3, so I don't have to place them all. Oh, another cool thing about scrap. I almost forgot to mention. Once I place a die on a space, I can no longer use that space again. However, I could use scrap as many times as I have, as many times as I can, because it's not considered as placing a die. You get to activate the slots, but it's not considered as placing the die. So that spot remains open. And that's where the tactics of the scrap come into play. I'm going to warn you beforehand, I don't think this is going to end well, because we started already in a pretty rough spot, and really, really tough enemies appeared on the board. I don't think this is going to work out well, but I'm going to try the best that I can. And the way that I'm going to start this game is by I'm going to place a 4 here to my recycler. I'm going to show you what the recycler is again. It says I'm going to use my 4, and it's an exact match. I get to activate the special skill ability, which says draw an enemy card from the deck and add it to your scrap pile. I'm going to draw an enemy card from my deck and add it to my scrap pile. Okay, another card that I'm going to be able to use. Plus, I get to damage one vehicle either behind me, because it's in the corner. I could damage one vehicle either behind me or to the right of me. So let me see what my options are here. I have this bomb one that bombed vehicle that I have to destroy it for an exact number, because remember, this one's gonna hit me twice, really hard. And since 2 points of damage is actually a good, nice round number for it, I'm gonna place that 2 damage here. Now I have this card right here, which I could use as a 2 to place right here, which says automatic reloader. And what that means, it has a little red die. I'm going to show you what it looks like, so you know, because it's printed on the board. It has a red die that looks like this. And what that means is that I could, when I place a card on there, I could remove any die from any card, be it enemy or mine, to be able to reactivate it again at a later turn. However, that die that you remove is still considered spent. So it's not like, oh, if I remove this 4, it's like if I never used a 4. No, it's still considered as if I used that die. I just put it off to the side. So I'm going to use this 2 to activate my automatic reloader. I'm going to place this on the scrap. I'm going to activate my automatic reloader, removing this 4 so I could reuse it later on, placing it to the side, and causing 2 damage to any vehicle here. Once again, I'm going to aim at that bomber, because that's a terrible card, and I want to destroy it. Now, I placed one of my 3 dice. I could do 2 more or end my turn, but I definitely do not want to end my turn right now, and I want to go ahead and do something else. And I just thought about it. Okay, I am going to use this die right here to activate my center. Now, is there a way that I could show you what the center does here? No, it doesn't. But I'm going to just let you know, you're going to have to trust me. This die, I'm going to pretend that I'm placing a die right here in my core. And it says whenever I spend a 1 or a 2, I could re-roll any one of my same color dice that I have, increase or decrease a die face by 1, or lock a die away for a later turn. Like, I'll lock this away, and when it comes to rolling the dice again, I won't have to roll this one. I could use that value the next turn. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that 1 to increase my 2 to a 3. I'm going to use that to go ahead and activate my recycler again. Remember, my recycler allows me to draw 1 card from my scrap, put it aside, okay, and cause 2 damage to any vehicle on this side, which in this case, that bomber, I'm going to place another 2 on it, which will make it exactly 6, destroying this vehicle. But thankfully, since I damaged it for exactly 6, not only do I get to keep it to use it as scrap for later, I can I also avoided that bomb from going off because that bomb would have hit 2 points of damage for every one of the parts here. And on top of that, it will not activate and do that very nasty attack. So I'm going to go ahead and place that here, and we're going to move on. I already placed 2 dice. I could place 1 more. Let me see what the chat says. I'm going to let you guys talk for a little bit. It seems like you guys are having a great time together. Keep on keeping on. That's awesome. And I'm going to actually go ahead and use this same scrap that I just earned from defeating it as a 4. I'm going to activate my recycler as a perfect activation to once again draw another card from my scrap and place it here. Okay? And I'm going to be able to damage a vehicle on any side for 2 damage. This one has a shield of 2, so it wouldn't do anything. Plus, it's already activated. I'm just going to go ahead and give it to the Fury of Flames, because that's a nasty vehicle right there. Also, thing to point out, I have 1 barbed wire on this side. So if I ever did a ram by placing a dice here, a ram action, I would be able to damage any one of these vehicles for 1. But that's not what I'm going to do right now. Let's see. I will place 1 more die. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to place the die. I'm going to place this 6 in my... Oh, no, I can't. I lie. I take it back. I will not be doing that. And as a matter of fact, I think I will use this 3 to activate my lifeline. Now, what my lifeline does, it says I could damage a vehicle for 2, which I'm going to damage this other nasty bomb vehicle for 2. And I could repair 2 to any part on the board, which I will repair this part. So I'm good again. I don't have to worry about anything. However, with that said, I think I'm not going to be doing any more activations here. Actually, I lie. I will, because this one's so nasty. It's so nasty. I'm going to go ahead and use my 5. And I'm going to activate this again. It's higher than a 3, so I get to activate it. But since it's not a perfect match, I'm going to be able to only activate the top ability for 2 damage, putting another 2 damage to that very nasty bomb truck. I don't like that truck. And not only that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my other 6 scrap to activate it yet again. And this time, I'm going to put another 2 damage on this vehicle, destroying it and putting it on my scrap. And what I'm going to do next, I'm actually going to use this 2, and I'm going to activate the automatic reloader perfectly, removing this 3 so I could use it later on, hopefully, and placing 2 damage, since it was an exact, to one of these vehicles. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on... It's 2... what? No, was it exact? Yeah, it was exact. I'm going to put it on this one just to even it out, because this one's got 6 damage. So let's try to see if I could take that one out. I'm done. I don't want to put anything else. I could technically put one more die, but I want to see if I could roll something better later on. So now that's the end of this part of the turn. I'm going to grab all the enemy and my dice again. I'm going to roll it, give it a good little shake, and let's see what we got. For the enemies, they have a 2 and a 5. For me, I have a 2 and a 6. By the way, that last turn that I had a couple of really cool combos there, if you all noticed. That was pretty cool. I'm going to have to activate either a vehicle with 2 or a vehicle with 5. Thankfully, I do have a vehicle with 2. I don't have any with 5. If I didn't have any vehicles that I could match to activate, I would have to take a look at my boss chart. I would have to roll a red die against this chart right here, and depending what die I would roll would determine what type of terribly nasty effect would happen here. You know what? I'm gonna have to take this dude out. Okay, NRGY, if you're gonna be here for a while, I'm gonna create you. You're gonna be my moderator. If that dude comes out again, do me a favor and lock him out, okay? I'm gonna give you that responsibility if you could do that for me. All right. So moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and activate. Oh my goodness, that guy has a damage of 4. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna activate this vehicle. He's gonna give me a damage for 4 on one of these parts. I have to damage a part. I can't choose to put that damage onto the core. I'm gonna place it on an explosive pole right here. This explosive pole has a health of 5. The reason that I don't mind if this guy damages this card for 4 is because if I do an exact match, I could blow this up and just completely destroy any vehicle I have in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and place 4 damage on this, almost knocking it out. And this vehicle is going to zoom right in front of my vehicle, Mad Max style. That guy's trying to make my life a living nightmare. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to activate. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to have to do something I don't want to do only because, yes, I will do it. I'm going to go ahead and using this 6, I'm going to place it on this 4. It's higher than a 4, so I can activate it. I won't be able to use the exact match, but I will be able to use the 2 damage, destroying this vehicle right here that already had 4 damage on it, destroying this vehicle, adding it to my scrap. However, I'm going to use the 2 die to place it on my automatic reloader. My automatic reloader is going to give me the opportunity to remove a die from one of my slots, okay? And it's going to cause 2 damage to any vehicle here on the side. In this case, I'm going to give it to the Squealer. The Squealer has a health of 5, but a shield of 1, so I will only hit it for 1. With that done, I'm going to go ahead and use that 4 scrap that I just received right now. I'm going to go ahead and use it on this recycler, which, as you remember, is going to let me draw a card as a scrap, activate it for 2, which do 2 damage, which I'm going to place it once again on this guy right here. And I have 1 more die and one more scrap that I can activate. And I am, let me see, what am I going to do here? Oh, it doesn't matter because either way, I'm gonna damage this guy really bad. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab this. Oh, I can't. That guy's not activating. I could activate this to hit him for 2, or activate this to hit this guy for another 2. Or keep it. You know, I don't have any 5s. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this 5. And I will place it here since it's higher than a 4 or a 3. And just since I cannot do an exact match, I'm just going to give 1 damage to this vehicle right here. Okay, because he has 1 shield. I damaged him for 2, but he has 1 shield. He's 2 away from being destroyed. He's really nasty. But that's all I want to do for my turn right here. And this is going to be the final part of this turn because there's only 1 die, 1 boss die available. And in this case, we have a 4 and a 5. And this is actually not good for me because there are no 4 slots, and these are already activated. This is a 6, and this is a 1 when it comes to the enemies. This is a 6, and this is a 1. So I'm going to have to actually refer to the boss chart here and roll that red die. So I'm going to grab this 4. I'm going to roll it. And this is a 3. Let's look at the boss chart and see what that 3 does to us. The 3 says, place a damage card onto the vehicle slot of your choice, which is terrible because damage cards, as you know, will make you not be able to use that slot of a vehicle. So if I place it on this part, I won't be able to use that part anymore. However, it did say that I could place it onto the vehicle slot of my choice. Therefore, I'm going to place it in a spot where it has no part on it right now. So I'm still okay. I still could use all of my parts. I'm safe. And I'm going to go ahead and see what I could do now. The bad guy kind of destroyed a portion of my vehicle, but we're still pretty good because all our parts are wide available. And I have no other choice. I only have this 1-5. And this 1-5 cannot do much. But I probably should have activated this one instead and destroyed this vehicle. But I'm going to go ahead and just keep on. I'm going to activate the 5 over here by placing it here and give this vehicle 1 more point of damage. It does 2 damage, but 1 shield brings it down to 4 damage. That's it. I have no more boss die. I have no more player dice. The turn is over, but it's not the end of the round. It's just the end of the turn. And the way you find out whether or not it's the end of the round is if there are 2 or less vehicles. In this case, there's still 4 vehicles on the board. So it is not the end of the round. We're going to go another turn, which means we're going to grab all the dice that we have placed on both the enemy cards and the ones that we use during the round. We're going to grab them all. We're going to re-roll them and see what we got. All right. For the enemy, we have a 6, a 4, and a 5. For me, I have a 1, a 2, a 4, 5, and a 6. That's very varied. Should give me a lot of options on my turn. Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat, see what's going on. All right, you guys keep talking. That's awesome. Keep it up. That's awesome. All right, I hope you guys are enjoying. I actually enjoy this game. If it wasn't for the rules, like, keep in mind, I have the rules pretty much packed in my head right now. So it's smooth sailings, and that's when I think this game is at its best. But when you're stopping looking because the rule book had so many things that were so much information that was not included, it puts a complete halt to the game. But in this case, we're doing good. And we have a 3, a 4, and a 6 to activate 1 enemy vehicle. And I'm going to take a look at which vehicle is probably best for us to activate. And looking at the damage that these vehicles give, the vehicle that would probably give me the least amount of damage would be the nuclear trucker, which thankfully is activated by a 3. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the nuclear trucker. It's going to hit me for 2 at any one of my open spots. I want to damage, since this one has more health here, I'll damage my recycler, which is my favorite card, but I can't have this slot. Actually, no, I changed my mind. I'm going to damage this one. It damaged me, and it moved clockwise one adjacent space. Now I have 2 vehicles behind me, and I get to place up to 3 of my dice. So let me see what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to place this 4 onto my recycler, which I really love that recycler. I'm going to take a scrap for 3, place it to the side, activate this, hit this guy for 2, destroying this guy. He has 1 shield, so only 1 goes through. He already had 4 for a total of 5 damage. I damaged him equally. He's going to go straight in my scrap, and I'm going to have a 3 and a 6 to play with right now, which is actually really good for me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this 1. No, actually, yes, that's actually what I will do. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and use this 3 again to do a perfect placement on my recycler. Draw another, oh my goodness, draw another scrap, damage one of these vehicles for 2. In this case, I'll damage this one. It's got a health of 5, of shield of 1. I damaged it for 2. The shield stopped 1, so only 1 goes through. And let's see here. Yeah, I did do it correctly with the span. That guy, you did it good. Yeah, you got that guy out. Thanks a lot, NRGY. I appreciate it. I trust you, man. All right, so let's see. what did I do here? I activated, I hit this guy for 1, and I get to place up to 2 more die. Up to 2 more die. Let's see. I will place this 2. No, it doesn't have... Well, yeah, I'm going to place it there. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do that crazy move. I'm going to place this 2 here, removing this 4 from here. Okay, I can't activate the special ability because there's no vehicle to activate. However, I will then use my 4 here to once again grab another scrap, place it in my scrap, and deal another 2 damage to one of these vehicles, which I'm going to keep going at this one right here. I already placed 2 dice, but I have 1 more that I could place. And I think that I will use this one right here, okay, to activate my core here. If you use a 1 or a 2, you could increase or decrease a die of any of my choice. I'm going to use this 5. I'm going to decrease it to 4 to activate that recycler again. Get another scrap card, which is 5. Place it in my scrap and deal another 2 damage, which I'm going to deal it to this nightmare fuel right here. 2 away to defeat this guy. All right, let's see. I could still place another die. No, I cannot place any more die, but I could use my scrap. Let me see if I could use my scrap to do some... Yes, I am. Okay, this is what I'm going to do with the scrap. I'm going to go ahead and use this 6 to activate this again. No. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to use this 6 to activate my damage, my explosive pull. I'm not going to be able to do... It's a 4, but the 6 is higher than a 4. So I'm going to be able to do a 2. I'm going to put a 2 here. Wait. I lie. That's not what I want to do. That one's going to hurt me. No, because that one's going to... Either way I go, I'm going to lose something here. Either way I go, I'm going to lose something here. But I would rather do a for sure thing. I'm going to put a 6 on here. Damage this one for 1. I'm going to put this 5 on here. Damage this one for another 1, destroying it. So at least now I know the round's going to end. I don't think I should have done it on the other side. Oh well. I already did it. Damage done. I'm going to use this 1 right here to actually do a ram move. 4. I'm going to do a ram move. I'm going to use this 1 to place it in my ram. I'm going to ram the vehicle in front of me right here. Since this had 1 barbed wire, it's going to take 1 point of damage. The reason I wanted to move it out of the way is because if it activates, it's going to hit one of my spots for 4, and it would absolutely destroy any one of those parts. And I wanted to protect my vehicle. So that was the reason for my madness there. However, I already placed 3 of my dice, so I did 3 actions. I have to grab the remaining dice, give them a nice little roll. And we have a 6 and a 3, which is terrible for me. A 1 and a 2 for myself. A 6 and a 3 is terrible because this one's the only one that can activate, and it can only activate with the 2, which is actually kind of good because it won't hit my vehicle for 4. But I'm going to have to roll one of my dice against the boss chart. I'm going to grab one of these dice, and let's roll it, see what we get. I got a 2. Okay? So a 2 states, oh no. Deal 1 damage to a part of my choice, then re-roll this die. I'll deal 1 damage to this, bringing it down to 3. And I have to re-roll that dice. That could be an infinite loop. That's terrible. Oh my god. I got another 2. Re-roll. I'm going to place that damage on here. And I have to re-roll the 2 again. This could be an infinite loop. What could destroy me is going to be an infinite loop. A 5. Okay, let's see what the 5 does. Set that one aside because I'm going to activate it. The 5 says deal 1 damage to all parts in corners. Now this is where the rule book, I'm so glad. I have to place 1 damage to each part in a corner. So there's a corner here, a part here, so I'm going to put 1 damage here, 1 damage here, that one's almost destroyed, and 1 damage here, destroying this part. This part actually got destroyed. So I'm going to place a destruction card here. Now, this states to deal 1 damage to all parts in a corner. As you remember, if there's not a part here and you receive damage by a vehicle, that damage goes to a core. But this specifically mentioned a part. There is not a part there, so it will not damage that part, nor will it go to the core because it needed to damage a part. And you cannot choose to damage your core. So because that happened in this particular case, nothing happens to this part right here. That's one of the rules explanations in the game that was not covered very well in the rule book at all. But the way that I just played it right now is the correct way to play it if you just so happen to have an issue while you were playing Wreckland Run. Hopefully I helped you. Now I have a 1 and a 2 to activate. Not really good choices here because there's this needs to activate with the 3. This 2 was already used up. This is a 3 right here. I actually can do one thing, and it's kind of going to be more of a defensive thing that I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a 1. I'm going to use my 1 to place it in my special ability for 1 or 2. I'm going to increase this die to 3. I'm going to activate this card right here, which is my life, what is it? Lifeline. I'm going to deal 2 damage to this, which is this vehicle has 2 damage to shield, but that's okay. What I wanted to do was use that perfect placement to be able to heal 2 damage from a part. And I'm going to actually heal 1 from here and 1 from here. And there's a reason why I did it that way in particular, is because if this guy activates, he's going to hit me for 4. I'll just take it here and not lose another part. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead. I have no more dice to roll. I'm going to roll the final boss die, because even though I don't have a die to roll, the boss still has a die to roll. And it activates with the 1. There's no 1 that can activate it. I have to once again go ahead and roll against the boss chart. So let's see what bad luck I'm going to have. I rolled a 2. I don't even have to look at it, because I know that the 2 states to deal 1 damage. Oh, it says, I was wrong. It's not the one that goes to it. It says deal 1 damage to any part of choice and then re-roll this. So I'm going to place this 1 damage up here. And I have to re-roll that 2 again. I almost did it to every corner. Oh my goodness. Here goes the 2 again. My luck. My luck starts to show its colors right now. And I have to re-roll it again. Here comes this infinite loop. It's terrible. All right, I got a 3. Oh, this is even better. You're going to like this. Ready? A 3. Place a damage card onto the vehicle slot of your choice. I'm just going to go ahead and place it in a slot that has no parts on it, so I could still use the slots. Now, there's no more boss die. I don't have any more die or scrap to use, but there's 2 or less vehicles on the board. So these vehicles escape. They go and escape to wherever their leader is. And I remove these dice from here. And that marks the end of our first round. In our first round, as you could tell, I received a lot of damage. A lot of bad things happened to me there. But that's just the way the game works sometimes. There's nothing we could do but move forward. With that said, let me go ahead and take a look at the chat, see what you guys have all been doing. Marvel United is fun. Yes, it is. Let's see. Champions is fun. Yes, it is. Pronounce Simon or come on. I don't know. That's a good one, Papersmith. I used to say come on, but I hear Simon a lot, so I just go with Simon, but I used to think it was come on. All right, we're gonna move to our round 2, and this is the wreckage phase. So we're gonna go ahead and draw 4 parts. This is our parts deck. These are the parts that we're gonna be able to use to hopefully either add cards, add parts to our car to make us more vehicle, to make us stronger, or to maybe upgrade an existing part. But in this case, this is going to be a healing round. As you could tell, there's a lot of damage on this board. I'm not even going to look at the cards that I have in the part, because right now I need to focus on healing my vehicle. I have 2 4s that are going to be risky rolls. I have, oh, this was a 2. I'm going to flip it back. This was a 2, a 3, a 5, another 5, and a 4. So let's see what we could do here. This is how you heal, okay? I'm going to show you how you heal. You could remove a destruction card. I'm just going to show you a new destruction card by using 2 numbers, 2 dice of the same number. They have to have the matching number. I'll be able to remove a damage die, completely if I remove this destruction card, I will have access to this part again. It will have full health again and everything. It's like if the part was placed brand new. So I could do that. Or if I do an exact match with a card, for example, let's say that this card would have had 3 damage, okay? If I placed an exact 4 on here, I would take all the 3 damage away. However, if I put a 5 or a 6 on here, I would only be able to heal 2 damage. And that's how I'm going to try to heal my lifeline over here. And hopefully this one over here. So my lifeline, I'm going to actually... Should I heal my lifeline or that one up there? Let's see. 2 vehicles in the front. I will heal my lifeline. So I'm going to grab this 3 die and place in it and use that exact match to remove all the damage on this part right here. So I'm good there. I would like to remove that damage over here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 2 5s to remove this destruction card, opening up my explosive pole once again. Now, I could use the remaining dice that I have right now to either unlock a card, to place another part in my slot, to upgrade an existing part, or I could discard one to re-roll them all. So let's see what I want to do. Okay, I already think I already know what I want to do here. And I'm going to show you. 2, 3, 4. I was 1 away. I'm sorry for the dead air. I'm thinking right now. I'm actually going to... I'm going to discard this card right here. I'm going to discard it. I get to re-roll any dice that I have. Any dice that I have here. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Let's see what... I'm just going to grab them all. I'm going to re-roll them all. I discarded that dice. I'm going to re-roll them all. Let's see what I get. I get a 1, a 3. That's mine. A 1, 4, and 3. That's a risky roll. Oh boy. I should have done it when I had the chance, and I didn't. I wanted to be risky. I'm going to go ahead and discard this card. And I want to re-roll these dice, because you could re-roll as many dice as you want. As little as many dice. I'm going to re-roll these 3. Oh, man. I got what I want, but it's going to be a risky roll. I'm going to go ahead and re-roll this one. Discard this one to re-roll this one. Let's see what we could get. So far, I got a whole bunch of 3s, and I got a 4. Okay, so I have 4 3s and a 4. 4 3s and a 4. 4 3s and a 4. I do want this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this 3, and this 3. This was a 3. To upgrade and place this part on my vehicle. This is called a concussion dealer. That one's going to deal either 1 area damage to either vehicle in front and that side, or 3 damage to 1 single target. That's a good card. If I get an exact match, I get to re-roll a die in my hands. And since it has a barbed wire on the top part right here, I'm going to go ahead and place it in the front. Take a reference look here. That re-roll lets me re-roll any or all dice of the same color. That's it. But since I used 2 danger dice, because I used 2 3s that were risky rolls, I'm going to go ahead and roll this. And I got a 3. So I'm going to look at my chart here. For the wreckage phase, the 3 has no effect. So thankfully, for the first time in this game, something good actually really happened and came out of this. And we are now done with our wreckage phase. And we are going to once again go ahead and move on to round 2. Round 2 is going to have me put 2 vehicles in the front, 3 in the right, and 3 in the rear. Let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be 2 in the front. We have a bullet for you. It has a 3 damage, activates with 4, 3 health, 1 shield. I have sand and stuff. 2 damage, activates with 5, 5 health, 1 shield. We have what is it? Blood and gas. 3 damage, activates on 4, 5 health. Waster warrior. 3 damage, activates on 3, 5 health. Wow, no area attacks, which is actually good. Watch all the area attacks come out. I called it. Bone Machine. Bone Machine has an area attack of 3, meaning that he'll damage each part on that side for 3. He activates on 4 and has a 6. Also, when he activates, he will place the current red die on a part's empty slot and do not activate it. So I will grab that die, place the current red die on a part's empty slot. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. That means I would just grab that red die and place it on one of my open spots, which is insane. This guy could just keep activating pretty much, if I'm not mistaken. That's an ugly guy. All right, for the rear, we have Fire Forever, damage of 4, activates with 2, health of 5. Classic Masher, area effect of 3, attack of 3, activates with 3, health of 6. Place the current same thing. We'll just keep playing the current die, red die on the part's empty slot, and not activate it. Okay, and finally, we have the Wave of Mutilation. Okay, the Wave of Mutilation is going to be an area attack of 3. Same thing, activates with 6. This is going to be the end. I kind of really feel it. Let's grab all of our dice. Give it a good roll. Oh, forgot to roll this one. And we have a 1, 2, and 3 for the boss die. A 1, 4, and 5 for my actions to activate. So let's see what we're going to do. We're going to activate a boss. I have a 3. If I activate a 3, I'm going to activate this 3, excuse me, and this 3 at the same time. Let's see if I could just activate 1. I have a 2. And if I activate a 2, I will only activate this one, but it does 4 points of damage. Let's see, what does a 3 do? 3 area to, yeah, I will go with the 2. So I'm going to place the 2 on here. It's going to create 4 points of damage to one of my parts. I'm going to put it on the recycler, unfortunately. And this one's going to zoom clockwise to the next adjacent spot. So now it's to my left. I'm going to go ahead and see what I have. Excuse me. I have a 4. Which, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Yes, I do. I have a 4. I'm going to place it on my recycler. You all know I'm going to draw a card for a scrap, place it there, put 2 points of damage. I'm going to put 2 points of damage here because this guy does an area attack of 3. I'm going to use this 1. How am I going to use this 1? I'm going to use this 1 to change the number of my die from 4 to 3. I'm going to place it here. I know this is terrible, but I'm going to grab another scrap, 3, place it here, put another 2 damage right here on this vehicle. I can place one more. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this 6 right here. Excuse me. I'm going to grab this 6 right here. I mean, I can't place anymore, but I can use my scrap. I'm going to use this 6 right here to activate. No. I was going a little bit too quickly, and I just messed myself up, but that's okay. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So I'm going to actually hold it for my next turn. I'm probably going to die here. I'm not going to move anything else. I'm going to grab the dice that are remaining, give them a nice little roll. I get 2 6s. The enemy gets a 1 and a 5. Let's see what the enemy does to us. It does not activate with the 1, but it does activate with a 5. And it activates with the 5 with this one over here. And it's going to deal 2 damage to a part of my choice. I'm going to go ahead and give that to my explosive pole. And I'm going to go ahead and with this 6, I want to... I wish I could have damaged this guy, which is what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to use this 6 to place it in my ram. I'm going to ram this vehicle right here, giving one vehicle 1 damage. Since I have 1 barbed wire on this side, I'm going to give 1 damage to this guy right here. This guy's going to move up. This guy's going to move down. Oh, this is going to be terrible. Oh, this is going to be terrible. Switch. This guy's going to move down. This guy's going to move up. The reason I did that is because I don't want to have too many 4s on one side. Oh, no. I didn't. This is going to be the end, people. This will be the end. So I'm going to go ahead and move this one down here. That's how a ram works. You ram them, you place whatever amount of damage you have on one side if you have barbed wires, and you scatter all of them around to an adjacent of your choice. I'm going to go ahead and use the 6 again, okay? I'm going to ram one more time. This was a 6. I'm going to ram one more time. I have one barbed wire here. Ramming will destroy this vehicle, taking this vehicle out and putting it on my scrap. And now we're going to see where we're going to be moving these guys at. This is all sorts of terrible. Let's split these guys up because that's too much area attack for one side. And let's go ahead and put this guy... Doesn't matter where I put them. They're all terrible. Here. I have one more boss die. I'm just going to go ahead and roll that boss die to see what's going to happen. I'm just going to roll it and put it against the chart because we already know. Oh, wait, actually, it's a 1. I went ahead of myself. It's a 1. None of the cars have a 1. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it again. I'm going to do it the right way. Roll it again. And it's a 3. And it says... Place a damage card onto a vehicle slot of your choice. This is great in a not so great way because now I'm going to have to place a damage card on a slot that actually has a part that I use. So I will be using... Oh no. I like this card. And I could use this card to heal that card. But that guy has a good amount of damage. You know what? I'm going to put it on this guy. No. Oh, man. I'm going to discard that card. You know what? Win or lose, it's about having fun. That's it. I'm going to grab all the die. That's it. There's no more dice to place. So I'm going to grab all the remaining die from the bad guys and from my mat. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and roll them all again. Hopefully something miraculous happens, because if not, this is the end of the game. And that's all right. I played so many great games this vacation that I had that I can't complain. If I lose one, I lose one. It doesn't matter. Let's see. All right, so I have a 4 and a 5 to activate a bad guy. I can activate this one, but then it would activate 2 vehicles. I could activate that 5 and just do the 2 damage, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the... Oh, wrong one. I'm going to use this 5 die right here to go ahead and place it on this 5 vehicle over here that activates with the 5. There's no other 5, so it'll be the only vehicle that activates. It's going to give me 2 points of damage to my explosive pole over here. And it's going to go... It won't matter much. I'm dead. Let's take it the other way around. Let's take it here. Let's place it here. It was a 5. Where's the 5? It's not looking good, but miracles happen. So I have a 2, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. I could do something with this, I think. What is this? A 4? What's the really nasty one? This is a really nasty one, and it would give me a 2. Is anything that would give me a 4? This would give me a 4. This would give me a 4. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Alright, cool. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. Ready? I'm going to go ahead and place this 4, okay, here. It's an exact match, and I could either deal 2 damage to a vehicle in front of me, or it says discard to deal 2 to 8 damage to a single target instead. But I would have to discard it. I'm going to die either way because this is not looking good. I'm going to die either way. I am. I really do think I am. So I'm going to discard this. I used this die. I'm going to use this for 4 exact damage. Destroying this guy, because I could do 2 to 8 damage. I'm going to do 4 exact damage to destroy this vehicle. Put it in my scrap. Okay? Now, this is not a destroyed part. A destroyed side. Just the card was destroyed. That's all that happened there. Okay? And now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this 4. Okay? I'm going to use it for my favorite move over here to draw another scrap. Oh my goodness. Deal 2 damage. So I'm going to deal 2 damage to this guy. Okay. I'm going to use this 4 to draw another scrap. Okay. Deal 2 more damage to this guy. I'm going to use another 4 to draw another go. Oh my goodness. If you guys notice something. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this will activate infinitely. As long as I get a 4 or a 3 scrap, I could just, as long as I don't have the dice covered here, I could just infinitely keep doing this over and over again. And all I'm getting are 4s and 3s. This is insane. That is so overpowered. Going to give this one the last point of damage, taking it out, putting it in my scrap. I'm going to go ahead and activate with this 3. With this 3, I'm going to go ahead, activate it again, grab another... Oh my goodness, I got another 4. You see what I'm talking about? That is insane. I'm going to put 2 points of damage. I'm going to go ahead, use that 4 to activate that same part again. This time got a 5. Less happy about that, but I get to place another 2 damage here. This needs a damage of 5. Let me see what I'm going to do here. I am going to use this 6, okay, to place it in my ram. I'm going to ram it for 1 damage because I have one side that causes damage because of the barbed wire. Destroying this vehicle and putting it in my scrap. Okay. Let's see what I could do. How many 4s and 3s? I have 2 3s. I only placed 1 die so far. I'm going to use this 6 right here to ram this side over here. See, what do I want to do? I'm going to ram this side, bring all of these guys here. I have one side of this what had a barbed wire, so I could damage one of them. I'm going to damage this guy because he's the nastiest, obviously. I'm going to use a 4. Once again, activating my favorite ability now, grabbing a scrap for 3. My goodness, I think that's broken. Adding 2 to this guy. I'm going to use my 3 to draw another card, which I don't have anymore. So I'm going to grab the vehicle scraps. I'm going to go ahead and... This is insane. This is like an infinite loop. That infinite loop is crazy. It's actually really overpowered. I wonder if that was the intent, because if it is, holy smokes, I have decimated this whole entire board with that one simple part. I can't believe that. I wonder if it was intended to be that way or if it was an oversight by the developer. I'd be so intrigued into like writing to them or to the company to see if it was meant that way. So I get to draw a card. Another 4. That is nuts. So I get to go ahead, deal 2 damage. This one takes 6 damage. If I want to keep it exact, I'm going to go ahead and use this 6 to ram, pushing all of these guys. I haven't even placed any more of my other die. Ram these guys this way, giving that guy that 1 point of damage from my barbed wire, destroying him. Check this out. Oh, this is just like almost comical at this point. It's comical. It's a 3. That is insane. What? That is crazy. All right, I'm going to use that 4 to go ahead and activate that power again, giving me another 4. Placing 2 points of damage to this guy, because he does for 4. So yeah, and this guy was activated once, which I'm going to use then my 3 that I had in my scrap, activating it again. Oh my goodness. Jeez. I almost feel bad for them right now. This is a slaughter right now. Wow, so what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to use this 5 to ram. This guy is going to move this way like this. Since there was one barbed wire here and this guy had a health of 5, he gets destroyed, putting this in my scrap. This is insane. This did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all. For sure, I thought that I was done for. But I'm going to pull out another 4. I'm going to go ahead and draw yet another 4. This has to be broken. No way. This has to be broken. I cannot see it. This guy has a shield of 1. I damaged him 2. So I only hit him for 1. He has a health of 5. I have to look at the chat here. Am I the only one? Let me see. Don't dislike it. Actually, I thought you guys are still talking about Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. That's good. I cannot believe that this just happened. My goodness. And I'm going to grab this 4, activate it again, draw another. Oh my goodness. I really think that this is not supposed to be. Because if it is, I'm just going to use it again. And you all know what's going to happen. This is an infinite loop. I've been doing this. Another 3. Look at that. This activates with the 4 and the 3. I'm going to go ahead, give it another damn. I could just keep doing this all day with the 3 that I got here. Go ahead, draw another one. This one's a 5. Finally, something different. Still, I'm going to be able to destroy this guy easily because I have another 3 on my scrap right here. Okay, and that 3 is going to do the same thing. It's going to activate, and it got me a 4. Isn't that infinite loop just broken? I think that is broken. Destroying this guy, giving me just that one more vehicle that I have to deal with over there. And you know what I could do, since I have two fours. I have two fours. I'm going to use my 5 to go ahead and ram him. I don't have any barbed wires here, so he's just going to move to wherever I want to place him. I placed him here, in which I'm going to go ahead and use a 4. And that 4 is going to give me 1 scrap, which gives me another 4. That's going to give this guy 2 points of damage. I'm going to use that same 4 that I just used on him to get another scrap, which is a 6. And it's not a 4. I thought it would be at this point, giving him another 2 points of damage. I'm going to use that 6 to go ahead and ram him, destroying him, and taking him out of the game and adding him to my... This was... I did that with 1 card. I just have to show it to you guys to tell me if this is overpowered or what. As long as there's not, as these dice slots are open, I could use the scrap dice on the scrap cards on them as many times as I want. Now, if I would have had a 3 on here, I wouldn't have been able to use a 3. If I would have had a 4 on here, I wouldn't be able to use the 4. But as long as you have a scrap card, you could use as many one of these open slots as many times as you want. And in this case, when you activate with the perfect placement, you draw an enemy card from the deck. Draw an enemy card from the deck and add it to your scrap. But every time I've drawn an enemy card, I've gotten a 3 or a 4. So I've just kind of kept doing this over and over again. It's been fun. I'm not going to lie. It was funny and fun at the same time. But goodness, I think it's broken. I really think it's broken. But with that done, I'm going to go ahead and see if I could heal a little bit. I need to heal a little bit because I don't want to lose that part. First of all, I don't want to lose that part. And the boss is still going to activate 2 more times, whether or not there's vehicles in the play area, the boss will still take its turns. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to heal. So I'm going to use... How many dice have I placed? I have placed 1 die, people. That is the only die that I have placed. And I am going to actually put this 2 here to increase or decrease a numbered die, which it's going to be, I'm going to turn it into a 4 to be able to activate this. Now, the reason that I'm activating this, by the way, I don't draw because I'm healing. The way that you heal when you're doing a run is if you get an exact placement, you can remove up to 2 damage from that part. You do not place it on the card. You place it on the side. If I would have put a 5 or a 6 on here, I would have only been able to heal 1 damage or repair 1 damage. I did it because either way, I don't have anything that I'm going to need to place anywhere. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and probably just keep everything the way it is. Let's re-roll and see what's going to happen to us. Re-roll. Okay, the boss has a 1 or a 2, but obviously there's no cards here, so we're going to have to grab one and re-roll it against the chart. I rolled a 5. Let's take a look at the chart. The 5 says deal 1 damage to all parts in a corner, which is that's such an ugly move. Once again, only to parts in corners that have parts. If it doesn't have a part, it doesn't go to the core in this specific situation. For those of you that just need to remember that, because the rule book doesn't state it. So it's my turn again. I'm going to put a 4 here to draw another oh no, I'm healing. I'm sorry. I'm going to use this 4 to do a perfect heal, which is going to remove 2 damage from there. That way I have more that I could use on my next wreckage phase. I'm going to use this 3. I almost don't want to. No, actually, I'm going to use this 2. I'm going to use this 2 to activate the middle, which I could increase or decrease a die by 1. I'm going to increase this 5 to a 4. No. I'm going to increase this 2 to a 3, because you could also increase the cards to heal 2 from here. That's what I'm going to do. That scrap is gone. All right. And now, I think I don't have anything else I could do again. So I'm going to re-roll this. And I already know that the boss is going to re-roll again. It rolled a 1. It says deal 2 damage to a part of your choice, then re-roll this die. I'm going to place 2 damage to any part. I'll just place it here again because I'm going to heal it again. And I'm going to re-roll that die again, which is a 5. It says damage 1 to every corner, every part in a corner. So I'm going to put 1 damage to every part in a corner. There's nothing there. There's 1 here and there's 1 here. So that one's almost destroyed. But it's my turn. I'm going to use this 3 to perfect heal. I'll put this away. Take 2 out of this. And I'm going to go ahead and... I should do it one more time just to be safe. I'm going to do it... Oh, no, I want that. But I will use this 5. No, I won't. I will not use that 5. I am done. There's no more vehicles here. We're going to go to the final round. We're going to the final stretch. So we're now in round 3. Hopefully this could activate. I'm going to go ahead and deal 5 part cards to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally 5. I want to heal that because that has a card, right? Yeah, that has a card. Okay. I'm going to grab all of my die. Let's take a look at the chat, see what's up. Hey, I hope you guys are all enjoying the chat. I see that you guys talking one another. That's great. 5. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm going to go ahead for the roll. And we have 2 3s that are going to be risky rolls and a 4. I have a 1 and a 3, a 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so let's try to see if we could remove some damage. And I actually want to do that. Should I do a risky roll for that? Let's see, 1 damage to the core or 3 damage to a part of my choice. That's a risk. That's a risk. Let's see what I could do here. Let's put something up on this corner over here if we can. There's really nothing, really. Is there a part over here? No, there's not. Oh boy. You know, let's just go for broke. Let's get rid of these 2 nasty risky rolls, and with that 2, I'm gonna go ahead and undo that damage right there. But I have to roll this. Let's hope for a 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Holy shit! Oh no! Oh no! I got 2 6s. I got 2 6s. Oh man. Oh man. All right, so let's look at the chart. The 6s says deal. On a 6, deal 3 damage to a part of your choice. I have to do that 2 times because I just rolled 2 6s. Ouch. So I'm going to put 3 damage here, destroying this part. It doesn't matter. Any leftover damage doesn't go anywhere else. I'm going to put 3 damage here, destroying this part, my favorite part. Okay, but that's okay. I'm going to use these 2 4s right here. I'm going to use these 2 4s right here to get rid of that damage, completely healing that, but I'm going to have to roll that 4 to see. Man, I didn't mean it. It's just, what's the chances of getting 2 6s, man? It's like, come on, like maybe 1, maybe, but that's my... I'm so sorry. It was a slip up. And this one's a 2, which on the board says no effect. I'll just show you, just in case you guys don't believe it. No effect. All right, so let's see. All right. Let's see what I have here. I'm gonna should I undo? Yeah, I gotta undo that. Let's see if I could place. Oh, I won't be able to. I could use my scrap cards for this, just so you all know. I'm gonna go ahead and use this 5 and this 5 right here, okay, to remove this destruction card right there. And then I'm going to. I have a 1 3 and a 6. 1 3 and a 6. I just need something to cover myself with. 1, 3, 6. I have a 1, 3, 4. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this card to re-roll this 6. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. I got a 1, which doesn't really help me with what I want. So I could do this one. This 2 would be better than nothing. And it has 3 health. Let's... Oh my gosh. I'm literally gonna take a risk here. Let's re-roll that. Let's re-roll this 3. I got a 4. Now I got the 4. Goodness gracious. I'm looking for something else here. I'm not gonna get that. I have a 1. I would need a 2. You know what? Let's go for broke. No. I need a 2. If I could get a 2, I'm gonna be able to upgrade get a good part on my vehicle, and I got a 4. Okay, that's all right. Doesn't always work in your favor. That's all right. Man, my rolls really sucked. Let's see. I could get this one at least to give me a little bit more leeway. I'm gonna do that. Or can I upgrade something? Let's see. That all the same number. Yeah. I can't upgrade anything. I could do this. Oh, actually, I like this. And I get a lot of 4s. I get a lot of 4s, actually. I like this. This will give me 6 health. I would do 3 damage. If I do a perfect placement, I would do a total of 6 damage, but I would take 2 damage myself. All right? But let's see what we do here. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this 4 and this 4 right here. These 3 4 to pay for this. And I'm going to put this up here. Because the bad guy's coming. And the bad guy's not good. Okay? So I'm done with that. I got rid of this because I used it. I have 1 more die and 2 more cards. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to roll this die to heal that. So I'm going to discard this, and I'm going to roll this 1. I need a 2 or higher. I need a 2 or higher. I got a 5, which is all I needed because I just need to remove that 1. So I'm good. I healed. So don't throw away your part cards when you're playing this. If you're thinking, oh, I have nothing else, heal. Heal with what you have left. Don't make any move go to waste. Don't make, oh, you know what? This whole entire game, I just realized I've been playing doing ramming without doing my special ability. Every time I ram with this vehicle, I deal 1 damage to any vehicle in my rear. And I absolutely look past it. So let's go ahead. This is going to be the final round. We're gonna face off against the boss. We're going to end up putting 1 in the front, 3 in the right, 2 in the back with the boss, and 3 in the left. Let's go ahead and get that done. 1 in the front. Oh, I accidentally did 2. I'll put the other one right here. 1 in the front. It's going to deal 1 damage for 1. Another for 2. Activates with 1. Has a health of 5 with the shield of 1. That's the only one that... Oh, there's 2 on the... 1 in the top. That's the only one in the top. The one on the side is going to be 1 area damage. Activates at 3. 4 health. 1 shield. 3 damage, activates on 6, 5 health, 1 shield, add a new enemy when activated to the rear. That one's ugly. I don't like that one. This one's even uglier. A damage of 3, a damage of 2, activates at 5 with 6 health, and that one blows up. Deals 1 extra damage when attacking the core. That one's really ugly. Really ugly ones are on this side. But you know what? We have that 3 and 4 that could really help us out if we get that going. I have a 2 here. Activates. It has a 3 area attack. Activates for 2. 6 damage. Place the current die. That's an ugly one too. We have a damage of 3. Activates at 3. And has a health of 5. And this is where the bad guy comes out. So the bad guy, Her name's Duchess Whisper. Okay, and she has an attack of 6. So anytime she attacks me, she's gonna activate. She's gonna destroy an entire part. So that's terrible. And she has a health of 18. She ends up being in the rear. Okay, and then finally on the left side we have 3 more. What am I doing here? Damage of 4 to a single target, activates with 2, 5 health. 2 different, 1 for 1, 1 for 2, activates 1, 5 health, 1 shield. Hits for 2, activates on 5, 5 health, 1 shield. And with that, we are ready for our final run. This is Make It or Break It. Thank you all for joining me. After we're done here, I'm just going to quickly talk about the games that I've played, ask you guys what you've played, and let's just have a little quick talk, chat for a couple minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it lasts. With that said, let's go ahead and grab all of our dice. Final round. Give it a good little shake. And in this case, it's Make It or Break It. We keep playing this round until either I die or the boss dies. Nothing in between. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if, oh, this was a 2. Let's see if we end up surviving this canyon run through Wreckland run. Let's see. So the enemy's going to activate. I have a 2 and a 4. Let's see. How many 2s do I have out there? I have 2 2s, both very powerful. Wish that I would rather not activate them. I have a 4, with which there's no 4s on the table. Now, I can, if I want, I could grab this 4, since it does not match any enemies on the board. I could roll it against the boss chart, but you all know that there's some infinite rolls that can happen there if you're not careful. So I will not be risking it, but I'm gonna take a beating right now because I'm gonna activate the 2 die. Okay, and the 2 die is gonna activate this vehicle. This vehicle is gonna give 4 damage. Oh, this is terrible. 4 damage to this card right here, which has a health of 6, thankfully. This is going to move clockwise, I'm sorry, 1 space adjacent. Now, there's another 2, which is here. And that 2 says, place the current red die on a part's empty slot and do not activate it. That is so ugly. So I take that current die. Oh, it hits me for 3. First of all, it hits all of my back parts for 3. So it hits my lifeline for 3. It hits my recycler for 3, which you guys know I love that slot. And it hits my core for 3, bringing the total to 5. So I'm going to grab this 1 gem that's considered 5. I have 5 out of my 9 health completely done. So I'm going to go ahead and now this guy moves to the right. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm going to activate. Oh, I just moved everything. Oops. I'm going to activate my 3 right here, which is going to draw a card. It gave me a 3. Damage 1 of these for 2. It's going to be this one because it's ugly. I'm going to use that 3. Grab another one. I got a 4. Damage this one for 2. Here we go again. Use the 4. Grab another one. This one's a 2. Deals another 2 here, destroying this guy. Putting this guy in my scrap. Okay. So that's actually a good thing. Oh, by the way, I cannot damage the boss. I cannot damage the boss whenever the boss has any vehicles next to it on its same side. The boss has to be alone on that side for me to damage it. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use this 1 to place it in my core here to decrease this die value to 4. Use that 4 to activate my slot, my what is it, recycler. Oh, I got a 1. It hits for 2 on these. Both have a shield. This one hits for 3. I'm gonna give it to this one. Now, I am going to use this one to activate the core, increasing this to 3, activating that slot yet again, drawing another card. This time I got a 6. I didn't get lucky. Hitting this, let's see, who do we hit for 2? Let's hit this guy for 2. This guy for 2. I'm going to use this 2. This is going to be my second die that I place. To ram. Ouch. Okay, I'm going to ram, destroying this guy, because I have one bar here. It had a health of 5. I had 4 right here. Oops, I just dropped it. No, it just fell. That's all right. This guy gets placed in my scrap. I'm going to move the Duchess over this way. I'm going to use my 3 to activate my scrap. I got another 3 to place 2 damage to one of these. I can't place it on her, but I could place 1 here because that one has a health of 4, but a shield of 1. I'm going to go ahead and use this 3 scrap again. I have to grab my scrap and reshuffle them. This is insane. I really have to say it. This is too much. I feel like that one card, the recycler, if you get to put the recycler on a corner part of your vehicle, you are going to just be decimating anything that comes your way. Now, granted, you'll only be able to destroy the vehicles on 2 sides, but as you could see in the examples that has happened in this game, that really has helped us out a whole bunch. There's a lot of 3s and 4s in here. A whole bunch of 3s and 4s, and it's really worked in our favor. So let's go ahead and give that one more little shuffle right there. I still have to draw that card. It's a 4. You see what I'm talking about? Wow. Damage this one for 1. Use the 4 to grab another one. It's a 3. Damage this one for 1. Use the 3. Grab another scrap. It's a 4. Damage this one for another one. Destroying it. Giving me another 3. Placing it in my scrap. Whew. All right, let's do it again. Grab the 4. And we're going to grab another one. Giving me a 1. Putting 1 damage because this one has 1 shield. Grabbing the 3. Grabbing another 5. This one gets 1 damage. And now this is where I get to choose what to do. I'm going to most likely use this 2. Okay, I'm going to use this 2 right here to decrease the value of this 5, make it a 4. Activate the recycler again. Gave me another 4. Put another 1 point of damage here. Use the 4. Get another card. This is 2. Place another damage right here. I'm 1 damage away from destroying this guy. Let's see if there's anything I can do here. Yes, there is something I could do. I'm going to grab the 6 right here, and I am going to activate. I'm going to activate this card right here for only the top portion to destroy this vehicle, adding the 6 to my scrap. Now this just opened up the bad guy. I could start damaging the bad guy, but remember, I still have some really hard hitting vehicles over here that are going to cause a lot of damage if I don't keep them under control. And before I would have wasted all those 3s, I should have probably healed a little bit, which I didn't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this 6. I'm going to use this 6 to activate this, which gives 3 direct damage to a vehicle. And I'm going to give that damage to this one up here. Or 1 and 1. Now, this one up here. It's going to give 2 damage because that card has 1 shield. So 3 minus 1. 2, and I think, should I do it again? No, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and end my turn right there. Grab all the dice, roll it. I have a 2 and a 4 for the enemies and a 2 and a 4 for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and activate. Oh man, there goes my health. You know what? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna roll. If I activate this vehicle, it's gonna give 3 damage to every single part here. So I'll be almost dead in my core. This part's gone. This part's gone. That's too much. I'm not even gonna risk that. So I'm gonna use the 4, which does not match any vehicle here, which is the only way you could do what I'm gonna do right now. And I'm gonna roll it to roll against the boss chart. And I got a 3. And the boss chart says, with the 3, place a damage card in the vehicle slot of your choice, which is still not good, but it would have been better. It's better than what would have happened if I didn't do what I did. So I will actually place it. See if I could use this one as a 4. I got a 4. Yeah. Ooh, that's going to be 2 destroyed vehicles, but it'll hit for a 6. Destroying this guy. Okay. I'm going to place a damage card on my automatic reloader, which is sad. That one has a barbed wire. Yeah, it does. It's sad. But I'm going to do it. And I'm going to, with this 4, I'm going to activate this, which says place 6 damage on any vehicle. Since it's a perfect match, I'm going to go ahead and do it to this one. Wait, is there a 4? I'm going to do it to this one because that it's 3 area damage and I don't want it. Exactly 6, but I give myself 2 damage in this place, giving myself 2 damage, which causes me to actually lose that part. This is terrible. This is not good. It was looking good until it didn't look good anymore. All right, let's see. How many 2s do I have? I lost my 2 over there. I'm gonna use this one on my core to increase this to a 3. Use this to hit 1 vehicle for 2. Both of them have 1 shield, so I will use it on this guy. And I get to remove 2, repair any card for 2. I'm gonna repair one here and 1 here. Okay, I have a 2 here, which I'm gonna go ahead and use this 2 to increase the value of this die to 3, placing it here, causing another damage here, and I'm gonna heal these 2. Okay. That's all I have. Now the boss is gonna roll. We're just gonna use this roll. Oh no, we gotta see if it matches any vehicle. It's a 4. This 4 does not match any vehicle on the board here. So we're gonna roll against the boss chart. And it's a 4. The 4 says, thankfully, we got lucky. The 4 says no effect. So we are completely safe from the enemy attack. However, we have no scrap cards. We have no more dice that we could use on our behalf. So we go on to the next turn. So on the next turn, we're gonna grab all of our dice. Oh, and this one says at the end of a run turn, after I'll show you. For this boss says at the end of a run turn, after all dice and movement has been resolved, draw 2 enemy cards and add them in the same section as the Duchess. So the Duchess is gonna get another 2. And those are my 3s that I would really like to roll. So let's grab all the dice, give them a good little roll. Let's try to see if we could put an end to this Duchess. I would like to clear out this table. Let's see. I have a 2 and a 4. This was a 4. I have a 2 and a 4 for the the enemy. I have a 2, 3, 4, and 6 for myself. All right. Let's go ahead and activate the enemy. We have no 2. We have a 2 which will hit one of my parts for 4, which will destroy any of those parts there. This isn't good. And we have a 4 which none of them have a 4. This is not good. Unfortunately, I will use the 2 because I don't want to risk rolling against that boss chart. So I'm going to put the 2 here. It's going to destroy this right here, and it's going to move. It's going to move clockwise 1 space. And that is not a good way to start the game at all. I'm going to use... Oh no. This is not good. This is not good. Okay. Alright. Should I use the 3 or the 4? Let's use the 3 here. I'm thinking if I should just start filling up my slots here, but then if I fill these slots, I won't be able to get anything out of it. Let's put the 3 here. And this is going to shoot 1 vehicle for 3. I'm going to make it shoot... They're all terrible. They're all terrible. I'm going to make it shoot... They're all terrible. I don't like any one of them. Let's go hit this guy for 3. No, hit this guy because this guy gives me a 3. I'm going to go ahead and place a 4. I'm going to draw a card. I have another 4, which is unfortunate because I just covered that 4. I won't be able to do that infinite loop right now. I do 2 damage to this guy, taking him out, giving me a 3. I'm going to use this 3 to activate my recycler, giving me a 5, adding 2 damage to this one. I will use... I don't have a lot of options here. I'm going to use this 2 to place it here, decreasing this value by 1, making it a 3, using it to activate my recycler, getting another one, adding 2 damage to this guy. Now, I wish I could have rammed, but I lost my card that would have damaged this guy. I would have been able to open up a slot here. But that's not the case. That is not the case. I could, however, just wait till the next round, which is not really going to do me any good. I'm going to use... I'm going to use this 2 to place it in my core. Decrease this value by 1, making it a 3. Activating my recycler, giving me another 3. Placing 2 damage. I'm going to completely destroy this guy. Alright, this guy has 6 damage, so this is what happens. Oh, what was it? It doesn't matter, I'm going to roll it. Since I damaged this one for more than 5, it's just completely destroyed, and I just discard it. That's it. That's what happens. That's why I like giving exact numbers, because you could put them in your scrap and reuse them. Speaking of, I'm going to grab this 3. Activate my recycler for a 2. Adding 1 I can't add any damage there. I should have seen that. I'm not going to undo it because I already got it. I'm not going to undo it. I'm going to have to undo it. No, I'm not going to undo it. That's it. My round is over. The boss is going to go ahead and roll their die. And the boss got a 6, a 4, and I got a 3. There's no 6s, there's no 4s, so I'm going to have to re-roll one of the boss's dice. And it is a 6, and it says deal 2 damage to all parts in all corners. Okay, so I'm going to deal 2 damage to this one. I'm going to deal 2 damage to this one. And I'm going to deal 2 damage to this one. They all stayed alive. Just these two are 1 hit away from being destroyed. These 2 corners. And I'm going to go ahead and place this 3 on here. It's going to hit this one for 2. It has a shield of 1. And I'm going to heal for 2. I'm going to heal for 2. I'm going to do 1 and 1. I'm going to do 1 and 1. So that way if I get hit in the corners again, hopefully it won't be too bad. I have a 5. I have a 2 here. I can't do anything with it. I can't do anything with it. I cannot do anything because all my parts are destroyed. This is going to get really ugly, and you're going to see what I mean by that. I can't do anything, really. I don't have anything else. So the boss is going to roll. 5s activate. This is a 5. It's going to hit a part for 2. It's going to hit this part, destroying this part. Oh, I'm done. I'm done. And this one's going to move clockwise 1 spot. I have nothing else to give. I could use my scrap right now, but there's nothing that I could use it for. So I'm going to go ahead and call that around. I'm going to grab all of the dice. I have to add 2 cards to wherever the Duchess is at, because we did that the last round. And finally, grab all of our dice, give it one more roll. See, this is going to be the final one because I'm not surviving this. My whole vehicle is going to start taking damage to the core. I'm only 4 damage away from exploding, so from total destruction. The enemy has 3, 4, 6. I have 1, 4, 5, 6. And this is going to be the final round. So the enemy is going to activate. We have 3, 4, 6. We have the 3 right here. Oh, no. Wow, this is terrible. This is terrible. Let's see if we do the 4. That's terrible, too. If we do the 4, we're done. If we do the 3, we're almost done, but not fully done. And that's what we're going to do. It's our only choice. I'm going to activate the 3. It has 1 area attack to every side here. It's going to give me 1 area attack here, 1 area attack here, which goes to my core, and 1 area attack here. This one's going to go clockwise. Okay, but I have another 3 here. And this 3 is going to cause 2 damage to one of my spots, which I'm going to give it to this one. As long as you have a part on that side, you have to hit the part. You cannot choose to hit the core. Like, I couldn't say, oh, I need this part to be here. I'll just damage the core to keep the part. No, you have to hit the part. You cannot choose to hit the core. With that done, I only have 1 slot here to do a miracle. And I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to use this 2 to activate my core, which I couldn't decrease this 5 to a 4. Activating this recycler, giving me a card, which gives me a 4, giving 2 damage to this one. Using this 4 to activate the recycler, drawing another card for a 6. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Doing 2 damage to this guy. I'm going to just use this 6 right here to do a damage, another 2 damage to this guy right here, completely removing him, but thankfully giving me 4 scrap that I'm going to be able to use right now to activate the recycler, giving me a 5. Oh, it didn't work out. What a shame, because that's the only part that I have available to damage anything. I'm going to use this 1 to place it in my core, decreasing this value to 4, activating my recycler, giving me a card. Oh no, I got a 2, and I'm going to damage this one for 1 because it's got 4 health but one shield. I'm going to use this 4, okay, to activate, giving me a 3. We're not out yet. We're not out yet. Giving 2 damage to this one. Using that 3 to go ahead and draw another scrap, another 3, adding another damage to this one. Using this 3 to activate it, giving me another scrap for 6. But destroying this one, giving me another 3 in the process. I'm going to go ahead and use that 3. Is this really good? No, this won't happen. To draw a card, it's a 4. It was close. And give 2 damage to none because this is 4. I need a, this has a shield of 2. I can't hit anything else. There's nothing I could do here. There's nothing I could do here. So what I'm going to do, I am going to ram these 2 to bring them here. There's nothing I could do. There's absolutely 0. I'm going to use this 2 to use it on the core here. Lower this one to a 3. I'm going to activate, get another card, and hit for 2. Let's see, who should I hit for 2? Doesn't matter at this point. Does it matter? Yeah, it does matter. No, it doesn't matter. We're just on fumes right now. Our vehicle's literally running on fumes right now. Nothing good's gonna come out of this. I'm gonna use this 6 to just activate the skill right here, giving it 1 more damage out of 5. I'm gonna use this 5 to go ahead and give this 1 more damage, which will take this vehicle away. Wow, that's a great endless loop, but it didn't really help me that much. I'm going to use this 1 on the core to lower this to a 3, from a 4 to a 3. Okay, I have to reshuffle this. At this point, it doesn't really matter, but hey, you know what? It was fun. It was fun. I have this game lasted a lot longer than I expected. This was chapter 3. This was rough. This was rough. There were some parts here that it was looking good. It was really looking good, but we ended up getting some vehicles that activated that were incredibly damaging, very difficult, tough opponents. Not only health-wise, just like attack-wise, incredibly difficult. Really, really tough guys that completely wiped us out practically in an instant. I'm going to activate this, draw a card, which doesn't matter. Hit for 2. This one has 1 shield. And, oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Take it out because I already placed 3. I already placed 3. Doesn't matter. So if they're going to roll, I'm going to die. It doesn't matter what happens here. She activates for 1, blowing up my final spike part right here. I have nothing else to give. Everyone else is going to hit me. I can't do anything else. I lose. It was fun while it lasted. I couldn't survive it. I really got wrecked. I got wrecked when it came to there was a card that hit me for 4 and another one that hit me for 3 all across or something like that. I forgot what happened. It was terrible, but it was fun. I did have a good time, and all I do want to say is that I hope that this, if anything, give me 1 second. Let me just get this one thing here so I don't forget. If anything, I hope that I was able to clear up some answers that you may have had if you happen to get your hands on Wreckland Run, because that rule book is not the best. And I wish it would have been done better, but it wasn't, and it is what it is. But I hope that if you came here looking for those answers yourself, or just flat out seeing what the game is plays like, I hope that I was able to at least somewhat help you, at least a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to take a time right now to take a look at the chat. Let's have a little talk and see what you all have been playing, what you all have been doing. I want to talk a little bit of what I've been playing and doing as well, because I've been playing some stuff too. So let's go ahead, place this all to the side so that I could have a chat with you all. And thank you for everyone that joined. That joined. It was a long one, much longer than I expected. There were some twists and turns that happened. So let's see what's going on in the chat right now. We have Papersmith. I'm not going to be able to go all the way to the top. If you guys want to re-put any questions that you had, feel free. I'm going to start with Papersmith saying this game seems kind of hard. I'm guessing, obviously, yeah, it does. There are times that depending the parts that you end up putting on your vehicle, it's really gonna determine the type of game you're gonna have. If you end up getting good parts in that beginning of that phase, that wreckage phase, you're gonna have a pretty good time. But if you don't get really good parts, especially to cover up open slots, you're gonna have a tough time. But this boss ended up covering slots in her boss attacks with damage cards, which was really hard. What was it? Was it place a damage card 3? That was difficult. So even that, she was just a tough boss to fight. But yeah, this game was really hard. And you're right, it's not fun if it's too easy. I moved down a little bit. The mage says solo games are always hard. Sometimes they are, but you know what I like about them? And I'm going to answer what you just said, the Z Mage. I still play a lot of video games, but I prefer board games. And the reason that I prefer board games, and I've mentioned this before, I believe in another live stream, is that video games have become very press X to win, basically. No challenge at all. You get trophies for pressing start at the menu screen or at the start screen. That's terrible. It's like, come on, give me some challenge. What I like about these solo board games, or just cooperative, or any board game in general, is that challenge that you have to stop and really think. Like, you really have so many options other than just press this button to spam and attack. You have so many options to get out of either a bad situation, make a good situation even better. I mean, the list is infinite, but so many ways that you could control what happens on the board, even when there's a lot of randomness, like with dice or with cards. I love that challenge, and I gladly accept it over some of these incredibly easy video game experiences. But yeah, the solo games do tend to be hard, but I enjoy them. As long as it's a fair hard and it's not one of those difficulties that's just there to frustrate you. Let's see. NRG says, I haven't played a board game version of Frostpunk or This War of Mine. I have the video game version of This War of Mine. But those are tough solo games. I've heard a lot of the same. Can you show us your shelves? Very curious. I will. I'll show you my shelves. I actually, don't tell my wife I'm saying this. I'm going to have to actually add another shelf. I'm going to add another shelf this week because Marvel Zombies came in. Hoplomachus Victorium is coming in. Adventure Tactics, the big box with all of the minis and everything is coming in. Like, I have a lot coming in. And as you could see, my shelf space is pretty much, it's pretty much done. So I there's another shelf coming, and I won't make a video. I won't do it now, but I promise you, I'll show it off for you. All right, just not now. All right, let's see. Same thing. Papersmith is like, oh yes, please. I promise I will, but not now. The Z-Mate plus my we're in the middle of shifting some things around the house, and there's some moving boxes now that I don't want you all to see because it's just gonna look sloppy. I mean, it looks good, but I just don't want to show it off. That's really the reason why. Okay, the Z-Mage. There's another reason I like dice in my solo games. It allows for some difficulty spikes that aren't too difficult. Cough, cough. Ghost stories. Yeah, and you know how I'm going to add another one. Did you see that infinite loop that I had here? That is crazy. What is it? Number 2. Deal damage to a part of your dice, then re-roll the dice. Go ahead. Deal 2 damage to a part of your choice and re-roll the dice. Go ahead. Infinite loop. Infinite loop. Yeah, that's fun. It's fun because it leaves a lot of randomness that can happen. And what I like about that is that it always keeps you on the toes, like thinking how you can get out of it. But sometimes it could bite you in the butt and there's nothing you can do about it. Always wanted to try Ghost Stories. The only game similar to Ghost Stories that I have played has been Burgle Brothers, which I heard is very similar to Ghost Stories. So let's see. I also like the, I also nuked the spammer twice, just FYI. I don't know what the spammer is. Let's see. Oh, the spammer, the guy that kept putting on. I don't know why people do that. I was like, seriously? That's what you're doing on your Sunday evening? You're going into chat spamming people? Are you serious? Oh, and by the way, NRGY, thank you so much for taking the mantle of moderator and taking out the guy that was doing that. I really appreciate that. You didn't have to do it, but you did it, and I just want to say thank you for that, NRGY. I really, really am grateful and thankful for that. The Z-Mage, I mean, definitely agree, although video games set themselves up. Yeah, video games still, I mean, when it comes to Disgaea, Final Fantasy, even Fire Emblem, I really enjoy, but I'm a big JRPG or an RPG fan. I love my adventure games like Uncharted and all that, but they're just too... it's too similar. I had fun with God of War, the Ragnarok. I played that one, and that one's good, but it still felt samey in so many parts. Even board games, I guess you could say, but you're constantly thinking because of those dice rolls and because of the reveals of cards that you have to resolve. It really keeps you on your feet. Sometimes when you're playing the game, you just kind of get in that mood, in that role. Although I do want to mention, I played this deck builder game called Midnight Suns. It's a Marvel game, but it's a deck builder. It's one of my favorite card-based battlers. It's a deck builder in video game form that I have ever played. I loved it. That it's been my most played game hands down. There's parts of the story I could care less about, to be honest with you, but the gameplay with the cards and deck building it's really pretty awesome. Let's see. You nuked that spammer to orbit. You absolutely did. Video games set themselves up. Huh? My wife just heard you say that, looked at me. Yeah, like she's like, who's influencing you? Is that the guy that made me put another 4 shelves on our wall? With a questioning look, I bet you did. I apologize to her on our behalf. Hey, we could be doing a lot worse with our money and with our time. So we're all right. As long as we're responsible with our money, we're good. As long as you love everybody you need to love, your wife, you know, you're good. She's probably like getting mad at that. All right. Energy Y. Haha, no worries. Next time, give it to Papersmith. All right. Sorry. Sure. Yeah, I'll do that next time. Sorry I missed the stream. No problem, Brian. We had a really good time. I got destroyed, but I was able to show off how the game worked out, and that's what matters. XCOM 2 is really good, too. Yes, it is. It's a very difficult game. You die, you lose, no matter how much time you put in it. Is Midnight Suns a deck builder like Dominion or a deck builder construction like Marvel Champions? It's a deck builder that you basically start with weak moves, just like it looks, if you look at it, it looks like like an RPG where you have attack, defend, items, abilities, specials, whatever, magic. But you're using cards instead, and your cards, you start with really weak cards, but as you keep doing things or progressing in the game, you add You have the option to add, buy, and even modify existing cards in your hand, making you very powerful. It's not like a deck build. It's not anything like a deck builder that I have played personally, myself. But I would probably Aeon's End is probably the closest one if you played Aeon's End Legacy, because you could actually modify the cards. It's closer to that, but it's not like anything I've played in board game form. But I recommend it. The story is has ups and downs. There's parts I don't care about it, but the gameplay is phenomenal. Flux recently came out with the solo mode. I have to check that out. Would you ever give us a couple of options and let us pick which game you should play next? Yeah, I think I would. Back when I was first doing reviews, and up until recently, I would always say, which review would you like to see me release first? My only problem that happened towards the end of the year, and the answer to your question is, yeah, I'd definitely do that. I know somebody mentioned they want to see Final Girl. I think it's NRGY. But one of the things that, and I want to get my an above view camera. I just have to wait till I finish some things at home first, to be able to have that space and the proper space to do it. Uh, but what was I saying? I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, in the beginning, I used to let people know which reviews they should come out first, but towards the end of the year, I just moved recently, and there was been a lot of things going on in the background. That's why you've seen the videos kind of take a really slow pace. I've just been really hectic, and then I got sick, and then after that, the Christmas vacation came, and I just wanted to spend time. I was looking at my board games, and I was like, no, you know what? I want to play what I have, and just for a while, just do me and my family, and that's what I did. But I like to give the community a choice of what they would like to see. A while ago, they had voted on having a best and worst miniatures, and that's I'm actually working on that. I still have to do a few touch ups to Dice Throne Adventures, which is right away. It's just going to be pretty much a review praising the game, but I'm going to put it out there for anybody that hasn't heard about Dice Throne Adventures or is looking into it. But yeah, I would definitely be up to do that, especially when I'm done with the situation going on at home right now. What did I get for Christmas? Absolutely, we're all on Final. You know what? I really love Final Girl. I wouldn't mind. I really love Final Girl. I still think, like, if I were to put solo only games that I own, I say that Final Girl is number one, like bar none. I'm talking about solo only. I would say Warp's Edge number two. And I don't know if I would put this one number three. I'm going to be honest with you. Wreckland Run got me so angry, I almost gave up on it. I almost gave up on Wreckland Run, but I ended up doing all this research and the searching, and then I actually started playing it without having to be looking all over the place for answers. And at the end of the day, I really do enjoy Wreckland Run a lot. I don't know if I would put it in my third spot, but for sure, I would highly recommend Final Girl number one, and I would recommend uh, 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 Warp's Edge. I really love those two as solo only games. Let's see. What did I get for Christmas? I ended up getting, my wife got me Nemesis Lockdown. Oh, I have a story for that. That's so much fun. All right, so when my wife got me Nemesis Lockdown, it was Christmas. We opened it Christmas morning, and I was with my family and everything that whole entire day. The next day, I set everything, I cleared this table out. And I had the instruction. I had already organized everything. I punched everything out. I sleeved it. I was ready to play. I opened that rule book, and what I did, I read that rule book from page to page, because that's a very heavy, complex, and complicated game. So I knew I needed time for a week, for almost an entire week, for 5 days. I sat this game on the table, reading it step by step, until I played an entire game without having to reference the rulebook. I memorized that game in a way that I did not have to even look at anything else, and I had a complete blast with Nemesis. That was the game that I got for my for Christmas. You could say Reckland Run was one too, because it came around the same time. But my wife gave me Nemesis Lockdown, and I absolutely loved it. Now I tried to play this live stream with you guys before Christmas, but this game didn't get to me until after Christmas. And my wife and I played this, and this is my first super skill pinball game I ever had. And you could consider this a solo only game. Super easy, super light. This is nothing. I mean, there is some strategy depending on what role is. There's some strategy, but this is a just a fun game just to play. I wouldn't play. I would say it's a little long in the tooth. Like sometimes the games last a little longer and you're not losing the pinball. It just keeps going. And sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, I've been playing it for a while. Like in one of the tables, I got 363 points in the Chevy Chase one, the National Lampoon Christmas. I got 363 points, and I was like, dude, this game's never gonna end. But I did have fun with it. I did like it. I wasn't able to play it with you guys because it happened before after Christmas. But who knows next time. Today, though, oh wait, I have another one I want to talk about. Let me actually bring it. It's right here. I played King of Tokyo once. I played King of Tokyo one time at a library in a meetup where you could go to the library and play, board games with people. I rarely used to do that, but I did it every now and then. And I played King of Monsters. I was like, that's a really simple game. I enjoyed it. It was fun for what it was. It's a really quick game to play, but I liked it enough to want it, but I never have anyone else to really play it with. And then King of the Monster Island came out, and this was a co-op game. And I ended up getting really excited to play a co-op game. Now, I played one game. I'm just going to tell you, I played one game and one game alone. I played it with learning all of the rules very well, no problem at all whatsoever. But I have one big issue with this game. All of the monsters play the same. Anyone that knows me, I could play solo only games or co-op games, but when I play a co-op game, I don't mind multi-handing. If it doesn't take a lot of space or too much space, I'll multi-hand as many people as many characters as fit on my table. And in this case, I multi-handed with three monsters, but they all acted the same. I couldn't tell the difference from one monster or the other. And in my opinion, when I play a board game and there's multiple characters, I like each character to have a special ability, to stand out from one another. Unless I missed some rule and didn't see something that I should have seen, this game, although I did like it and I think it's fun, it's okay. It's okay. If I would review it, I wouldn't review it like excited, happy the way I usually do it. I'd be like, it's good. It's all right. It's all right, but nothing great. It's just that the monsters have the same abilities, and that kind of killed the game for me. The game is still okay, but I've played better, and I would choose better. Now, this puppy came in today. Oof. Now, I knew that this was released on retail. And I got mad when I found out that this was at Barnes& and Noble. I went to Barnes& and Noble about a month ago, and this was sitting on the shelf. And I was so upset because I had seen some people do unboxings. I was like, what? They already got Marvel Zombies? And I found out later on that it was retail. And I was like, well, why did I pay shipping for this thing? Because the shipping was insane for this. And it turned out to be that, thankfully, there's a lot of standees in that one. There's a lot of downgrades. This one adds a lot more, and I felt a lot better. It adds a lot more when it comes to everything from tiles to figures and all that stuff. So I was okay with it. I can't wait to play it. I'm probably gonna play it tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I'm gonna try to see if I could play it tonight. But I'm excited to play this. So yeah, I mean that's what I've been playing now. Let's see what the chat, because I went on a tangent there. Final girl, final girl, final girl. Yeah, so Energy Y wants final girl. So that's definitely gonna happen. I think everybody, the Z Mage says, I think we all want to see final girl. I think you might be right. The Papersmith's like, absolutely. We're all on that final girl train. Choo choo. Yep. What did I get for Christmas? Yeah, that's what I ended up getting for Christmas. I can't wait for season 2 Final Girl. That's what Brian Skolik says. Neither can I. When I first heard of Final Girl, I didn't really expect much from it. After Final Girl blew me away as much as it did. I gotta look at this, so beautiful. After Final Girl blew me away the way it did, I can't wait to get my hands on season two, and I will have it. I will have season two, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hey, Hero Apollo, what is up, my friend? Wow, it's been a while, man. I hope you've been well. I really hope you've been well. Thank you for joining. I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year, and I wish you a great rest of the year. And the same to everybody else. Papersmith, I have heard out. Thank you for making this such a wonderful night. Oh, I have to head out. I read that wrong. I have to head out. Thank you for making this such a wonderful night, especially to Solo Mage and NRGY. Yeah, thank you to all of you. You guys are the best. See you next time. Take care, Papersmith. Thank you so much for stopping by. Brian Skolik said, "Are you getting the Warp's Edge expansion?" Not only am I getting it, I already got it. And I actually liked it. I played it live the last time I did a live stream. If you look at my homepage, you'll see videos, and then you'll see live. If you go to live, you'll see Warp's Edge, and I played it with the Anomaly expansion, and I liked it because it didn't drastically change the game. It changed it just enough. It added an extra feature, an extra option for you to be able to use. It didn't completely change the game, but the way it changed it, it made it significant because that one extra option really changes the game kind of a lot, but not in a game that in a way that it makes it a completely different game, just in a way that makes the game feel fresh again. So I did get it and I did like it. NRGY says, "See you next time." Crystalline, hey Crystalline, you look beautiful. You know why she looks beautiful? That's my wife. Thank you, Mama, for letting me spend some time over here on the stream. I'll be upstairs shortly. Brian, I saw this game, Cooperative King of Tokyo. Yeah, it's cool. You know, to be honest, Brian, I would say if you're interested in the King of Monster Island, I recommend it at a discount, maybe $40, 50 if you want. I say $40 would be a good price range because there's no miniatures or anything on there. Everything's cardboard. There is a volcano, but the bottom is plastic. The very top, the summit is plastic, but everything else is just a foldable cardboard that may or may not wear out with time. So I don't know. I say on a sale it's worth getting, especially if you like King of Tokyo, because it is a good game. I had some hangups with it. I do want to play Dice Throne Adventures, but it's not on sale anywhere. I think that you could find it on their website. What is it? Roxley Games? I forget who makes it. I don't have my glasses on. I'm looking straight at it, but I can't see it. I think they're called Roxley Games. I think they might have it on their website. If you send me just like send me a comment, I'll look for it and I'll let you know if I find it or not. I'll send you a link to it if I do. But yeah, it's an expansion. It's not a standalone game, but you just get one extra little battler of whatever characters you want to choose, and it's a full-blown dungeon crawling boss battler. I love I love Dice Throne Adventures. Such a fun game. My wife loves it too. My son loved it too. My son that just graduated, kid almost made me cry playing the other day with him. I love that kid. But yeah, he loved it too. Let's see. I absolutely love variable player powers. Yeah, it makes or breaks a game. If you have a game and all the characters are the same, you're all going to play exactly the same. There's not going to be a difference or a change in how anyone's going to play. Or if you play multiple players, all multiple characters, all the characters are going to move and attack and act the same exact way. It has to have variety. There has to be abilities that each character has. I know this has a whole bunch of different abilities. I hope, right? Which I'm very excited to check out. But yeah, variability when it comes to powers and abilities really makes or breaks a game for me. I will check out the live Warp's Edge stream. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Went to their website first, didn't see it. Oh, that's a shame. That's really a shame because that's a good game. I actually found it at my local shop. My local shop, the good thing about me not backing a lot of Kickstarters is that my local shop actually backs a lot of them, but they back them in bulk. And I'm able to just like literally go to the store. Whenever I start seeing people online do unboxings, I'm like, oh, I'm unboxing the Etherfields Wave 2. You know, although I did kick that one. But whenever I see somebody unboxing something that I knew was on Kickstarter, I just make my way to the store. And chances are I'll find it there. And if I don't find it that day, I find it there within the next week or two. So that's how I do it. Well, yeah, that's what I've been playing. That's what I've had. And I liked seeing that you all were talking amongst each other and having a good time. And I hope that I helped whoever ended up watching the Wreckland run for to see how the gameplay actually works. Hopefully, you were able to see some things there that the rulebook didn't do a good job answering, and I was able to at least somewhat help you. Let's see. For about Amazon has Dice Throne Adventures for 160. Why? Whoa, that is too much. I didn't pay that much for Dice Throne Adventures. I don't think. I ended up paying. I got it on sale. I ended up paying like less than $100, but I also ended up getting the miniatures for it. I got these miniatures for it. I got promos for it, like promo cards for it. I ended up getting even the sleeves, like the sleeves with all the characters from season 2. I ended up getting that. Uh, I got a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Like, I think I paid in total. I want to say 130. I think 160 is a lot just. I mean, the game's good. If you want to go for it, I think you're gonna like it. But you're gonna have to get yourself another character pack that comes with 2 characters so that you could play. But man, 160, that's a little steep. Sounds like a scalper to me. If that's Amazon selling it, like shipped and sold by Amazon, wow, ouch. Ouch, I think that's a lot. You can get a ton of Aeon's End. You know, I have everything in Aeon's End except for the last legacy. I fell off on it because I felt that I had so much Aeon's End. Although I enjoy the game, I think I have more than I'll ever have a chance to play. So I ended up stopping. A lot of the same with Legendary Marvel. That happened to me with Legendary Marvel as well. It says, I love Renegade games, but their quality control is crap. Yes, the Z-Mage is right about that. Wreckland runs... also, right here, let me just show you. Their card right here for the destruction to remove, it says 2 numbers that are equal to the same, right? But when you look at the parts, they don't go by numbers. They go by letters. I don't know if you can see 3 A's of the same, three dice with the same value. This did something different, so you could tell that they made a mistake here. It's easy to see that they made a mistake there. The rule book, but you know which game really has to be the worst rule book I've ever read was G.I. Joe, the deck building game. I enjoy the game. I really love that game. I actually got the Cold Snap expansion just a week or 2 ago. I love the game, but the core box, at least the initial run that they did, had the worst rule book I had ever read. When I made my review on that game, like the first 5 minutes was showing people all the rules it got wrong, hopefully so that people that played the game would not have to go through what I had to go through. Because if you all didn't know, I was the first one to ever review G.I. Joe, the deck building game. I didn't see anyone review it. If there was a review before mine, I never saw it. I was the first one out, and the first thing that I did was talk about the rule discrepancies in that game. It was terrible. Very terrible. So let's see. I agree with NRGY about a ton of Aeon. Yeah, all my Aeon's End stuff. I have some stuff there. Oh, you don't see here, but I have a big box. I used the legacy box to fit a whole bunch of stuff in there. Bad rule books, sometimes misprinted cards. It's a thing. Yeah, it's a big thing with Renegade games. Like, I've seen it happen with other games, but I see it happen a lot with the Renegade games. I mean, a lot. Yeah, those numbers were supposed to be the letters. The Z-Mage, they were supposed to be the letters. So it's obvious. Like, it didn't mess me up because it just said 2 numbers that equal the same value, but it was clearly, it just looks different. It looks off because it doesn't match. It's not uniform. Let's see. NRGY says we talked about that, the bad GI Joe. Oh, you must have been talking about it when I was yeah, I'll read it. I'll look. I'll go back to it. Yeah, that's such a good game with such a bad. But I could imagine so many people just giving up on that game, thinking that game is garbage, without giving it a second chance because of that rulebook. I wouldn't doubt it. Even the setup. That's what the funny thing about it. They couldn't even get the setup right. How could you not get the setup of your own board game right? That is insane. The card game in this case, that was fun. It was funny. It got me mad at the point. I'm not gonna lie, because I was so excited to get that game when it first released. It was around the COVID area. I was so excited to get it, something new to play. And when I saw that, I was so frustrated that whole night learning the game. Oh, for 2 days, I just kept going back and forth until I got it right. Yeah, I'll reread that chat. That would have been fun. I wish I would have been part of that conversation. That would have been fun. They made a change later in the process, and some cards were missed and showed as numbers instead of A's. Yeah, I caught that on. I caught on to that one. But at least that could have been a lot worse. One Deck Galaxy has a horrendous rulebook. I haven't played One Deck Galaxy. I know what you're talking about, but man, is it at least a good game? Because if One Deck Galaxy is at least a good game, it's fine. But if you play a game that has both bad gameplay and a book, that's just the death sentence right there. I mean, I actually don't hate the GI Joe rulebook. I don't actually have a hard time getting the rules from it, but I got a question. Did you get GI Joe when GI Joe first came out, or did you get maybe a second print? Because the first print had a lot of errors. I mean, it was a lot. It was significant. That was actually the first time that I played a board game or a card game that I noticed how many errors were in there. Usually I'm really like, oh, look, there's a typo, or they meant this, but I know they meant that, and I just don't care. But that game was nuts. I guess with that, I think I had a really good night with you all. We all had a really good time. Thank you for watching Wreckland Run, my playthrough of Wreckland Run. Thank you for hanging out with me and having a little conversation with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for all the support, all the fun conversations we have, even in the videos and the comment section. Is always fun. You got it when it first came out? Yeah, I did too. I was able to figure it out too, like you as well. That's why you'll see it in my review if you see the review. But it did bother me at one point. It did bother me. Plus, I was kind of frankly a little bit newer at board games still at that time. But even then, I still understood it well. I just saw that there were so many rules mistakes. It bothered me. But yeah, you have a weird ability to read intentions, and you need to know how to read intentions when you're reading a bad rule book like Wreckland Run. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys all for keeping the conversations alive in the comments section. It's always fun having those conversations with you guys. I always sound like a broken record, but it is true. I really hope that you guys all have a really, really great rest of your night, your evening. Have a safe weekend. Pull out a board game, play something fun, something quick and relaxing that you could just enjoy before you start the hectic week up ahead. Stay safe out there. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you and everyone else has a great game night. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thank you for joining. Happy New Year.